We the best, no contest. My clique is the best. We the best. There ain't no one like cause of you dumb or you crazy. There's no way, G. Me and my clique, we handling biz while you and your clique just act fugazi. You couldn't persuade me to give a damn, it just don't faze me. I got my Xbox, she can't play me. Money in a text box, I get paid. We the best. We the best, no contest. My clique is the best. We the best. For the wicked, I'm bad and I'm blessed. Put it to the test. For the rest, there ain't no contest. So what's next? Got me leveling up, I'm obsessed. I bring the fire like I'm possessed. My personnel and my clique is the best. There ain't no contest. There ain't no one like cause of you dumb or you crazy. There's no way, G. Me and my clique, we handling biz while you and your clique just act fugazi. You couldn't persuade me to give a damn, it just don't faze me. I got my Xbox, she can't play me. Money in a text box, I get paid. We the best. We the best, best. The best, best, no contest. My clique is the best. We the best. We the best, best. We the best, best, no contest. My clique is the best. We the best. We the best, best. We the best, best, no contest. My clique is the best. We the best. We the best, best. We the best, best, no contest. My clique is the best. We the best, best, best.
You know I'm killing it. They're hurt, I'm the one feeling it. Out there feeling it. My enemies fake, I'm just still in it. Slipping on the sauce and you're messing with the boss. No one's gonna be sorry for your loss. Gallopers scheme to tell your lies. Say you won't cry, but I guarantee you will. When the bullet from a gun fucking penetrates your eye. Phil Spencer is the sniper, laughing as you die.
Fake gaming, wannabe gamer, pretend gamer, think you got comedic skills when your comedy is a little bit lacking status. But still, so until you motherfuckers come at me with some shit, talking about some shit, understand that I got more games than you.
Holding the line until the target's aligned. These pussies are just fully clapped, the content is so benign. Set fire to the whole stable. Tony's on the round table, wearing shoes with no label. Red pig has got no hair on their head. The cost of the lies that they spread in the wake of Xbox. Spending billions, not just little millies like an Aaron, their Achilles, the sorcerer, but like 1,000 chilies. Consolidation is causing elation, except in the PlayStation Nation. Force rectal irrigation of these bitches, busting all the stitches. You don't have the riches, leave these portals in the fucking ditches. Celebrate, we're gonna have a party. Dance on the corpse of Colin Moriarty. He's shook off the Saudis, Habibis get rowdy. Circumcise the bitch so we can all scream howdy.
When you make that kind of content, that very adversarial, you're not one of the weird like gremlins making fucking 20-minute videos about me. That alienates and isolates you from people and burns bridges.
Pour one out for the FTC and your MBGs and all my enemies. My name is Septic, yes, I'm a disease, and you're the one infected. Your leader has now been selected.
When you're authentic, that's why your product is successful.
When you're authentic, that's why your product is successful. When you're authentic, that's why your product is successful. When you're authentic, that's why your product is successful.
We're live! Please tell me the sound works. Say something, Jez. Oh shit, it didn't work. Sorry, 1 second. I always get the routing not saved. I never... No, it's saved. Now it's saved.
Oh man.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible. How are you doing, Jez? Tell me it works.
Hello.
Yes, it works.
Mic check.
Mic check 1 2. What's up, everybody? Oh shit, sorry, chat. I'm still an embryo in the space, but it's good. It's good to be. It's good to be here. And sorry for being late. I got my key light fixed, so the lighting doesn't look like some really like back alley Bulgarian porn scene. It looks a little bit more well lit. So it's good to be here, and it's good to be joined by the man, the myth, the legend, who was supposed to be here last week, but is here today, and that's all I care about. Look at his luscious beard from the mountains of Caucasus. It is Jez Corden. What are you saying for Windows Central? Yeah, I need my music. What the fuck? Anyway, hi Jez.
Hello, guys. Audio issues are familiar to me. I have plenty of those. I've got to do a solo show this week because Rand is indisposed. Indisposed is Rand, so we're going to be doing a solo show on Monday. So I'll go through all these hilarious technical issues and audio problems and all that kind of stuff myself very shortly.
It's a warm up for you. So even on Monday he's going to be a solo show. He's not going to turn up.
Yeah, Rand's got family visiting, so we're going solo this week. So I'm also going to hang out with other podcasters like your lovely self. Although we did plan to do this last week, but then I was hanging out with family.
Yeah, sorry, my transitions are really loud. Yeah, so you're full screen there, everyone can see you. Yeah, I just getting my transitions ready. Yeah, no, honestly, no worries. You had fam over as well. I know how it is. And it was, although we don't get to freaking escape. In fact, actually, I was going to bring this at the end, but I'll bring it up at the start. Last week was a bit of a bombshell where the realities of the no red lines came to fruition. And it was Forza. It was Forza coming to PlayStation. And oh gosh, everyone was like, oh, he's only come. Jez is ducking it because he wanted to avoid the source. And you don't get to avoid the source.
No. No. I was plus the source all over Windows Central. There's no avoiding that source. We all knew it was coming, right?
Yeah.
I put out a report in December, I think, or November, where I wrote that exclusives are going to be the exception rather than the rule, and any
Yeah.
exclusives that Xbox does get, it's pretty much going to be incidental on the basis of the developer doesn't have bandwidth, or they don't have dev kits, or they don't have personnel, they don't have pipeline, that kind of thing, right? And we got pretty hard evidence of that with Forza, I think. Halo's next, Gears is coming.
And it's a lot of
Everything
it's
that will
coming.
possibly make money is coming.
It's all coming. It's basically pretty much what you said in your article. It's really a question of getting the resources devoted to try and get the PlayStation games running.
Yeah.
So that makes these games basically timed exclusives for now, but in the future they're just going to be day and date PlayStation releases, no?
Potentially. I don't know what Microsoft's overarching strategy is with some of this stuff. I mean, like, I think it's probably a bit of copium where it's like, oh yeah, they'll do Halo 7 timed exclusive or Halo 8 timed exclusive, and they'll give a Master Chief Collection to tease them into the Xbox ecosystem. But I think it really is just a case of like, let's just put it everywhere and make the most money we possibly can. Also, let's dominate PlayStation's own ecosystem. 65% of Microsoft's revenue supposedly comes from PlayStation now. In terms of, yeah. So if you account for Activision games on PlayStation, Call of Duty, Diablo, Diablo just dropped a $25 pigeon mini pet. Diablo 4.
That's
$25
ridiculous.
Pet.
The World of
Pigeon,
Warcraft
pigeon.
shit is coming into Diablo now.
Yeah, there's a $100. Oh man, I read an analysis somewhere because World of Warcraft's got an API for its modding platform, right?
Yeah.
And you can track what mounts people have. And like there was an analysis that like Blizzard made $15 million from this single dinosaur mount, this $100 dinosaur mount they added. $15 million. It was something like that. It was a ridiculous amount of money.
You people make me sick. You have no shame, says the guy who paid 100 quid for Chinese gold. Bro.
Oh man, I played way more than 100 quid for Chinese gold.
Is it?
But,
for me at the time, I remember this was years ago when I was literally working retail at Superdrug of all places, and I had my little Superdrug money. It took ages to to gather up, and bro, it was insane. Like the whole transaction was insane. It was a Chinese chick, and she was kind of fit. He had a WhatsApp number or whatever it was, and it was her because so basically we did the transaction, which sounds really dodgy, and it gets even more dodgy. It was like she called me. I was like, look, hey, I'm going to meet you at the back of Ratchet. You know where Ratchet is, in the where Crossroads are, north of Crossroads, northeast. Oh my god, I'm so sad. Anyway, where the Ratchet is before the freaking cataclysm, where they just ripped the whole freaking map in half. Old Barons was my life. I loved the banter there, but I have the best gaming stories of World of Warcraft. But anyway, I met at the back of Ratchet, and she was like, "We need to trade something." It was on the phone. So he does but her English was terrible. So she's like, "Oh, we need trade." I'm like, "Trade for what?" And she's put the gold there. I'm like, "Well, just give it." And it's like, "Yeah, no, you trade more." So I traded silk cloth. I shouldn't really do this like really Chinese accent. Actually, it's really bad. I just clocked what I'm doing. Cancelled. But it's trade.
You can't be cancelled anymore. This is jump shark, man. There's no such thing as cancelling now.
Yeah.
You seen Kanye West's Twitter?
Oh my god.
Thing?
Bro, he's gone mad.
Satire is dead, man. It's just satire is dead, bro.
Bro, now it's just like in your face, brazen. He just says, what the hell is he coming out with? Bro, I couldn't believe the shit that was coming out of his mouth, well, in his fingers or wherever. Like, it's not even, I'm not going to vote. I love dark humor, right? So part of me just like laughing my head. I was creasing. It's really raw, but I was creasing at just how crazy this sounds. And I'm going to read it out, and it's just dumb. But bear in mind, I admit it's just dumb and dark. Kanye goes, "I turned down 3 photos this week with Make-A-Wish kids in wheelchairs." Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Like, what? What are you saying? Why is that a flex? Why does it sound like a flex? What is wrong with you? And
it's like, you know the whole phrase, "That's the weirdest flex." That phrase is dead after that tweet.
Yeah.
That is the epitome of the weirdest flex. You're a billionaire bragging about snubbing some dying kids.
What the flip is wrong with him, man? He's gone mad, bro. I don't even know what to say to that, but I was creasing. And literally, there's a screenshot. I think I can show it. 1 second. It's here. Yeah, chat. You got Elon Musk saying, as much as I love real Donald Trump as much as a straight man can love another man. Yeah, I can't even read that. Donald Trump is gonna literally in the midst of doing the madness that he's doing. He comes and goes, I'm pushing for paper straws, which I'm sick of. I'm ending the ridiculous Biden push for paper straws, which don't work. Back to plastic. I'm like, bro, one day you're literally ethnically cleansing cars, and then you talk about plastic straws. What's going on? It's so crazy, man. The world is mad. The world is crazy. Yeah. But I do agree with him. I hate those paper straws, but they suck. They never work. They just collapse in on themselves.
You know, funnily enough, I'm sure I read a study recently that paper straws are coated in a film which is regarded as a forever chemical that doesn't biodegrade.
Great.
So
so
potentially they're even worse than plastic straws.
Oh my god! First there's microplastics. Now we've got micro paper resin that turns you into a mutant.
Yeah, it's just forever chemicals which they don't biodegrade. So
we're
you're
screwed,
damned if you do,
man.
you're damned if you don't.
Bro, we are screwed. We're so obviously heading towards World War 3, which is probably the only way Xbox might actually win the console war. But it's just it's ridiculous. It's mad. But I hate those paper straws. They never work. They just suck. I actually hate them with a passion. Rambling Entertained with a $2 super chat. Reforged Source in the house. Xbox is my second favorite app. People call me Reforged because of my take. I'm gonna get your thoughts on this. What's up to KJ Wars? Thank you for being a member again. And Face 23 Brooklyn, New York. After 14 hours, PSN is up and running. Thoughts? Face, it's not fully up and running because I'm seeing people saying all kinds of things right now. We'll talk about that in a sec. But before we do, look, I get it, yeah? There's some copium, in my opinion, from the Xbox community. And genuinely, it's based on this exclusivity point. I feel like I get some sides of the argument, but I think a lot of Xbox guys have adopted this argument to pacify themselves, or because Xbox's strategy is forsaking exclusivity. I've always said that, I've always maintained that exclusivity is fundamentally important in driving competition. It has driven competition to the point where with the PS3 gen, you had Sean Layden. I should work on a video on this where Sean Layden said the 360 was hammering them so much that what they had to do was basically give rise to the PlayStation first party stable that we know now. So they had to sit down and think about how do we enhance the value proposition of this console that didn't have enough RAM to even do party chat properly. They were getting absolutely arse blasted on the online arena by the 360 that was at least a whole generation ahead of the PS3. And then they introduced that PS Plus thing, whatever, the 2 free games or whatever, that no one even remembers now. And then they said that what they had to do was just literally just focus on the games. And since then, Microsoft has always felt the pressure because of the pressure from Sony, to the point where they were doing full audits that got leaked. You know, the one with the Last of Us, where they had to talk about why our games aren't as good as the PlayStation games and what we need to do. We have to invest in motion capture, why the Last of Us is such an incredible title, this and that. And it's always spurred on competition between Microsoft and then make sure that they spend the time that they need. They haven't smashed it out of the park, but it was that exclusivity. And I've got Phil Spencer coming up on stage saying this at E3, saying great exclusives are what have defined our blah 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 blah. He's just literally contradicted himself now. Now I get it, market changes and all of that, but I think exclusives have always been, people think the exclusives are not pro-consumer at all because, well, you're just depriving people of it. And I think that's such a simplistic view on things, because what you're depriving people of is potentially a substandard experience compared to what you would get if you had galvanized platform holders in the space competing on a one-to-one level to make sure that they had the best games, because if Doom and Call of Duty and all these games were sick and exclusive to freaking Xbox, you think PlayStation's gonna sit there and go la 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 la? The freaking entire PS3 gen with Mag, with Killzone, with freaking that game that they're not making now, Resistance 4, all that multiplayer push during the PS3 gen was because they were falling, they were lackadaisical, they were anemic compared to the Xbox's freaking multiplayer prowess. And they tried. And as soon as Sony gets emboldened and dominates the market, it just relaxes. And now what you have here right now, this PS5 gen, which is roadmap, is just as barren as freaking Dreamcast guy's head. No, it's a bit harsh. I don't know why he gets it so much, but it's there. Its direct competition is gone. So I don't expect. So this pro-consumer level is so basic to me. Like, you're not taking the whole picture in line. You're ignoring all the jurisprudence, and you're saying it's just pro. It's negative consumer, and it comes from Alex and Fritang. Oh, you PC mother. You didn't even freaking. You're just sitting there with an open buffet and talking about it. But we've seen it, and I disagree. But you may disagree with me. What do you think? Sorry, Jess, I went on for a bit of a rant there.
No, I was sitting there enjoying it. I think I wrote an article a few months ago, which was like, this was like, man, back in May, I think. I wrote an article where it was sort of like Microsoft's plagued by short-term thinking. So like, yeah, putting Forza on PlayStation is going to make a shitload of money. It's going to make an absurd amount of money, and it's going to make their quarter look really good. You know, and they can go to shareholders, hey, look, we had a good quarter because Forza on PlayStation. But then the long-term view will be like, well, what kind of damage is this going to do to the Xbox brand? What's this going to do to Xbox interest in Xbox hardware? And, you know, therefore, by extension, Game Pass, you know, your services, your ongoing subscriptions, all of it, right?
Yeah.
So I think, like, the one thing Xbox has failed to address is how this plays out long term. How do they see it playing out long term? You know, and I kind of feel like they kind of passed the buck a little bit, like Phil did in his interviews, where he was kind of like, you know, it's an industry wide problem, and it is to some degree. If you look at the charts, you know, PlayStation's down year over year for the last 3 quarters, I think, for hardware. They'll probably be up this quarter because of PS5 Pro. You would hope. At least in dollar sales. But the thing is, it's also kind of like, it's an existential crisis, because it's like a lot of those PS5 Pro sales, they ain't new users. They're just existing PlayStation users. Yeah. They're cannibalizing their own audience with what, frankly, is a bit of a mid-gen upgrade.
Oh,
you know?
Someone's going to clip that.
I
do it.
Clip it. You know, it's not impressive at all. It's like the RTX 5080. You know, it's really not impressive, you know. Wait. For a mid-gen upgrade, at least not right now. You know, maybe in down the line it's like it suddenly becomes really good or something. But right now it's hardly something like I think a new user would find exciting. It's definitely for the existing PlayStation user. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. You know, I would have bought an Xbox Series X2 that did some of the same stuff. I'm sure you would as well, and a lot of Xbox fans would have as well. You wouldn't? No. Okay. No. Well, you're a PC gamer. You're a fraud.
Yeah, I'm going. Bro, I am the primary freaking. I'm the focus of Microsoft and Xbox's attention now. They've said it. PC's where the growth is at. They're focusing on me, baby. You want to be treated as not even a second class, but third class citizen? Go for it, because PlayStation is second class. The Xbox console users are third class for Microsoft. That's the reality of it. You can't even deny that.
You know, I mean, that's probably what it feels like right now. But Phil says in the interview with Les and Legary that they want to find differentiation based on hardware. They want to diverge further than PlayStation. And they feel like the Xbox Series X is basically too similar to a PS5 in essence.
I agree.
So, as someone who is a technology enthusiast, I'm kind of interested if that statement goes anywhere. You know, is it more sort of pie in the sky statements that is more aspirational? Like, it's like what Phil would like to happen. Because if we end up in a situation where it's basically like the Xbox Series X2 is again basically just an identical PlayStation 6 with a different shape. I think that kind of statement ends up ringing hollow, but I think Xbox does have a history of bringing disruption via hardware.
Software.
You know,
hardware.
Yeah, and well, both. The modularity of the 360 really beat the PlayStation 3 on the value proposition.
Modularity. How is it modular?
You could buy it without Wi-Fi. It didn't come with Blu-ray as standard. You could buy it without hard drive. Initially, you didn't.
But no
need
one did though.
Then. Yeah, but back then it was like they had memory cards. You could have a memory card instead of a hard drive.
Yeah.
A lot of games ran off the disc back then. So like, and for people who looked at the PS3 price, especially in the UK, I mean, speaking for myself here, I looked at the price of the PS3 as someone who was a PS1, PS2 gamer. I was just like, I got a nope out of this, for the sake of my wallet, which was, in my early 20s, not particularly excited to have.
Plus it was a year ahead.
So Microsoft has tools up its sleeve. They've got AI stuff, which I know the core rolls their eyes at, but
I don't.
Is that the forward-facing thing that Gen Alpha wants? That brings the console back into fashion, because that's the existential thing right now. Consoles ain't fashionable. Kids don't want them. I do agree with you, like, in terms of what hardware needs to do. I've always been excited. Look, if they're just going to be... Look, the Series X was this last hurrah, as far as I'm concerned, with Xbox trying to go toe-to-toe with the PS5 on the power stakes, and then offering the Series S, which is, on paper, really good move. And I think by the end of the gen, we'll have a lot more reasonable take on the Series S as well, by the way. I know we've got two big outliers with Black Myth Wukong and Baldur's Gate that were pretty... harsh examples. We might get a couple more examples at the end of the gen, but I think generally people will view it as a bit of a hoo-ha about the Series S in the grand scheme of things. But in terms of the Xbox Series X going to toe-to-toe, that didn't work. And I think it'll be interesting, and I think I'm glad that the media, everyone else, are holding Phil to his word on that point, because whether or not that ages well remains to be seen. But I do really want to see a major differentiation in that hardware design element of it. I don't want to hear Sarabanga, the largest technical leap ever seen, and marketing fluff that doesn't do anything for me. I want to see something different. I want you to see, I think you wrote an article about this, and I think it was a really good article, actually. I based a video on it, which was uploaded. I'm going to redo it. And it was based on your article about what Xbox is going to do in the hardware space and all the different options that they could have, and they're trying to democratize or whatever with Windows, make that, the much more developer friendly, and all of that. I would love, and I still struggle to reconcile this, Jazz. Like, how would this work? But if they can somehow make this machine, the new Xbox, open to Steam and stuff like that, like to really I don't know how they'll reconcile that with losing, revenue from their own store, pulling away. But my attitude is, well, your whole business model on paper, or what you say, is hinging on Game Pass subscribers. You now have PlayStation guys to supplement you in terms of hard cash, like you far beyond Xbox ever offered, because they've got a much larger user base. They will buy your games if they're not shit, and that's it. So why don't you lean in heavily on your console, make it open platform, have Steam there, entice people from the PC user, because like you say, the new gen, everyone's buying PC, man. Ask these kids, they're console agnostic. They mostly want to play on PC. So bring the best of both worlds, have an Xbox thing there, have a Game Pass machine there, just take some risks on the hardware. I would love to see that. And if it's not like that, and it's a very, conservative, I don't know. I hope they understand that, because that's the only way Xbox can even remotely make a dent in the console space. Because it's dwindling every gen. Like this gen, they're even faltering beyond the Xbox One, which is disgraceful. I don't even know how that happens. And now they've got all these games coming out for it, which are really good as they go third party, which is the brutal irony of it is incredible.
I think they just need to take some risks, man. Do you think a Steam machine Xbox mashup thing is possible?
Well, it's you said that Microsoft. You assumed I was going to say Microsoft succeeds on its software, and to some degree that's true. I mean, they've always been third place, but they've managed to find the margins by doing things like Xbox Live Gold, by pioneering microtransactions, for better or worse, doing things like Game Pass, which is a set amount of revenue every month. I mean, there is a sort of conspiracy theory that Game Pass cannibalizes retail sales of games, but there's not really hard evidence of that yet.
You don't think it does? I think it does. I don't think
but Microsoft delivers engagement bonuses for games that are in Game Pass, and they know exactly how much money they're getting in month over month with Game Pass. So you'd want to think their mathematicians would be able to offset the cannibalization by giving those studios their engagement bonuses, you know? But don't know. You know, you could easily argue for either direction with that one. But at the very least, you could say it's hard to deny that Game Pass is not a strong differentiator.
Yeah.
I was just talking to someone recently where they were like, they're a PlayStation gamer, and there are so many games that are coming potentially to PlayStation that they're interested in, like Doom, Avowed is probably a timed exclusive. Definitely. There was an interview recently with Xbox Expansion Pass where she was kind of smiling knowingly at the question, will it come to PlayStation? But she was saying the kicker is like all of these games are coming to, you know, Game Pass, and it'd be potentially cheaper for me over time to just get them on a Series S, you know, not someone who cares too much about 4K or whatever like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, there is definitely, like, for people who are engaged enough, there is a differentiating factor with Game Pass, which helps Microsoft maintain at least some kind of unique selling point in the market. You know, I think a lot of us, like, who are very deeply entrenched in Xbox, I think we take some of this stuff for granted, and then we look, you know, have a sort of grass is greener mentality about some of this stuff.
Yeah.
But as someone who does have a powerful PC, you know, a lot of the arguments that people make to me, or, you know, fanboys in videos say, what's the point of buying an Xbox? What's the point of buying an Xbox? You can say that about PlayStation. What's the point of buying a PlayStation? Like, Spider-Man 2 just came out from my PC. Like, I don't need a PlayStation anymore.
Yeah.
And there's so much games to play. I'm willing to wait a year to play these games, if at all, you know. Because by the time some of these games roll around, there's so much stuff to play right now, which feeds into this existential issue that console market's kind of having right now, which is why Microsoft made the Series S in the first place, because they were like, is this a way where we can make it more enticing, you know, get people on the value proposition, you know, and whether or not that's materialized into something that works, you know, is very debatable, I would say. But, you know, it's on paper, like you said, on paper, it's a good thing. But down the line, when they do things like a handheld and it does target a sort of spec that's similar to the Series S, developers will have those ports ready to go. Whereas, like, for PlayStation, it'd be potentially much harder. So there are still levers Microsoft can pull here and triggers they can fire to potentially stay in the game, you know. And one of the
when
things
you say stay in the game, you mean what, the gaming game, or like what game?
No, the hardware game.
Hardware game, okay.
Yeah, because the argument is, like, is Microsoft going to become a publisher like Sega? Because obviously they're not leaving gaming. They got Call of Duty and Minecraft and Candy Crush and World of Warcraft. They're not leaving gaming. They've got way too much money. You know, there was analysis that suggested they're the biggest gaming company in the world now, as of last quarter.
Yeah, wouldn't
based
surprise
on
me.
revenue alone.
Yeah,
you know, just microtransactions. You know, the $25 Diablo pigeon, for example.
Yeah. No, honestly, if they can hold on, because there is a question right now because of this whole multi-plat strategy about the you know, the need for Xbox hardware. I still think they can do it, but they'll have to do something wildly different, which is why I'm hoping for some kind of Steam machine or something. But I'm actually...
Yeah, but it's like you said, though, like, what are the logistics of that? You know, Phil kind of put that thought out into the ether when he said, like, what would it look like if Epic Games was on Xbox, for example? He used Epic Games as an example. And I think it's pretty telling that he used Epic Games and not Steam as an example, because Steam probably would aggressively eat into their profitability of their own ecosystem unless they did some kind of deal where it was like you get 20% and we get 10% or something like that, you know. Because I know Valve is physically close to Microsoft, and philosophically close, you know. Gabe Newell is one of the Microsoft millionaires he's a billionaire now, but he's one of the people who became a millionaire overnight when Microsoft went public, you know, because he had shares from working there back in the day. So he has there is an affinity there for Microsoft and a sort of, you know, a friendly rivalry, not a hostile kind of rivalry like Xbox and PlayStation potentially have.
Yeah.
But it's also like, you know, I kind of feel like if they were gonna go forward into this sort of deeper partnership, would we have not seen some initial grassroots movement on that? Like EA Play is on Steam, for example, but Game Pass isn't.
Yeah.
Why isn't Game Pass? And I suppose part of it is because Xbox still wants to have its own ecosystem. It wants to have its own PC store. It wants to offer its own, you know, unique PC, a unique reason to use the Microsoft Store instead of Steam. And whether it's Satya pushing for that to eventually find a better margins for Windows, you know, because Windows is almost too open, you know. And like I'm sure Microsoft looks at iOS and Google Play and they're kind of like kicking themselves. Like, why didn't Bill Gates think to keep this as a closed system, you know, back in the day?
Yeah.
But cloud didn't exist back then, right? So everyone had to use their own content delivery systems. But these days, like Xbox is more profitable than Windows itself because, you know, once the OEMs paid their license fee, there's no upsell on Windows. Like Microsoft tries to get you to buy OneDrive, they try to get you to buy Copilot Pro, and they try to get you to buy Microsoft 365. But most people probably don't. So like one way that can potentially make Windows more profitable is by Game Pass, gaming, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they don't want to integrate Steam too hard into their ecosystem.
Which I would understand completely, which is why I struggle to even think of how that's possible. So that just leaves the question, what is this hardware differentiator? And I hope...
Yeah, we don't know. We've only got speculation and you know, discussions, which is why podcasting on this topic is quite fun. Because anything could be true. We can just make up any bullshit. You know?
Yeah, it's true. And but we don't know. But we know that something has to give. And I know that there's no way Satya Nadella is going to sit there and tolerate another $100 loss per unit on a bit of Xbox hardware, because that's just ridiculous. It's shocking anyway. That's not going to happen. So it's going to be something that might be expensive, but it'll have to have if it's expensive, they'll have to be able to sell it, which is crazy because Xbox is at a disadvantage against PlayStation. So what would they offer that would entice people? So it's going to be something, hopefully. If it's a conservative basic, another Xbox Series X2, I'll be disappointed. Not that I'll be interested. If it's a handheld hybrid thing, then I'm interested, as opposed to just a handheld separate.
See, in a perfect world, Microsoft would be like, it's okay that we can have a niche hardware install base, because we can still sell our games on other platforms, right? But the problem with having a niche install base is that your third-party developers will leave, and if your third-party developers leave, then your customers will leave, and then you won't have a store if that happens. So, like, in a perfect world, all developers would support all hardware equally, right? Which is why I think the next Xbox is going to be closer to Windows than ever. Okay. Because if it's for a developer, if it's just a case of porting your Steam version across, like almost like at a 1-to-1 API ratio, then potentially Microsoft retains support, even if it's got like a niche hardware offering, you know, that's specifically tailored for hardcore Xbox gamers. But again, it's like, you know, there's so much guesswork going into this right now. It's going to be a miserable couple of years until, like, you know, someone leaks the whole thing, you know, someone, hopefully it'll be me, you know. But sometimes you have to get lucky to leak some of this stuff. But some of the hardware plans I do know about, and I've put this out there before, is what we get in is a Series X2 successor, Series X successor, so an upgrade path for people who want a box that's powerful on their TV, and then something that's more akin to a Steam Deck, which is like a handheld that offers a decent experience, which can go with you, you know. So you end up with like maybe your soft core by a dockable, cheaper console that's also handheld like a Switch. Your hardcore by the desktop version or the TV version, and your super hardcore by both, like me. Because right now I don't need Series S, but if they release the Series X2 and a handheld, I would buy both. So they get that double dip almost. I think that in itself is a compelling hardware proposition. You know, for me personally, that's what I'd like to see happen. But it's about whether the wider market's interested. You know, could they offer a more complete hardware offering than PlayStation can because of the Series S? You know, because PlayStation would have to convince developers to support their handheld. If they don't go for something that's more familiar with Windows or more familiar with the Series S, whereas Microsoft potentially has hundreds of games already optimized for a system on that kind of 1080p kind of level. And if they're close to Windows, then there are potentially thousands of games that could be there. If they make it open to sideload Steam, then there's potentially even more thousands and thousands of games that could go on there, and that completely change the game completely.
I love that if they did that.
But again, it's all conjecture. It's all, you know, hopium and dreams, and
it's just interesting to see because the market has changed. Just like the console's not, they've gone multi-plat. They're basically third party now, but they're still dipping their toes in first party stuff. They have a hardware console, like Phil Spencer said, boxes in the name. They're not going to forsake it. And that's where most of their Game Pass subs, even the PC is rising more and more, is where they reside. We've got a poll here, and 65% are still saying that they would buy an Xbox. Although, granted, this is more of a hardcore Xbox community, they would still buy it. So, you know, it's just going to be interesting to see what they will do. I'm very intrigued to see what they will do in this space. We don't know, but I think we'll find out this year.
I'm still excited about it.
I'm excited about the changes. I'm not excited. I don't personally care about the box unless it's something different. I'm actually excited more about the handheld now because now my core game experience will be the ultimate PC master race. Yeah.
Give me both of them, man. I mean, I play a lot on my PC at the moment because I'm doing a second run through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm trying to like 100% it on Steam. But there's plenty of drawbacks with PC where I'm kind of like, I wish I had this on my
quick resume.
I wish I had this on my Xbox. Quick resume.
I love the quick resume as well. I missed that
just
actually.
Having things separately, like it really bugs me. Like when someone messages me on WhatsApp or Slack or something, and I'm playing a game, I have to sort of release the cursor and just.
That's why you get dual PC setup, bro. I got four. I'm like Neo in the Matrix. You need to see my shit. Wait, can I just
dual PCs?
I can't even fit I've got that. I've got a screen here. Here, look, bro. There's two pieces just running this shit. I'm like Neo, bro. I'm gonna just get me the hell out of here. I'll get him out straight away, bro.
if I had more space, I would probably have a dual PC setup. But right now, I'm just rocking a laptop. I've literally got my whole studio set up, everything plugged into this laptop. Like, I pushed this laptop so hard because, like, I'm
laptop,
kind of,
bro. Jeez.
Yeah, it's a Razer Blade. It's like top of the line Razer Blade. It's amazing.
What GPU?
But 4080.
Oh my days! 4080. It's a better GPU than my gaming PC. I got 3080.
I've just full screen something back then. But yeah, it's got 4080 in it. But bro, it gets so hot. It gets so hot. Like I installed a temperature monitor recently, and like playing Final Fantasy Rebirth with the TDP on maximum, fans on maximum, everything. The CPU hits 100 Celsius.
Jeez, bro, you can just cook freaking biryani on that thing.
Yeah, seriously. Like, even now, just doing this podcast, like it hurts to touch the back of it, the vents.
Jeez.
Literally hurts to touch it.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
but it is a bit dusty. I bought some tools. I'm gonna try and clean it.
Yeah, PC's not perfect. That trade-offs definitely with it.
I don't need to clean my Xbox. You know, it's
I barely cleaned this
it's
thing
dusty
since I
and
bought it.
it's not gonna catch fire or anything. You know?
PC is an acquired taste as well. It's not for everyone, but it's just the freedom is so, the power, everything. It's just like, I genuinely question what made me go. I'm look back and I'm like, why did I go? I had a 2070, which is now my streaming PC. But it's just like, what happened? Oh yeah, fell for the SSD hopium. Oh yeah, the game world's gonna change. Mark Sony, you lying piece of shit. And then freaking Jason Ronald with the Series X. Everything was gonna change. The way the game developers were gonna make games is gonna change. Oh, we're no longer. What was it? The shitty Ryzen? No. What was it? The Zen? What was the CPUs that we forsake for the PS4, Xbox One gen? The mobile grade CPUs. I forgot the names of them now. And we talked about, oh, finally we're gonna get, PCs, like consoles that are not hampered by shitty mobile grade CPUs that were outdated from the get-go in the last gen, and nothing's happened. Like nothing. There's not. What crazy CPU goodness are we seeing? I'm still waiting for Battlefield, which we'll talk about in a bit. But bruh, like I'd be so disappointed. So it's like, nah, I'm home. I'm home, back to where I belong. But I'm predominantly playing Xbox games. Huh?
Jaguar cores.
Jaguar cores. Thank you, chat.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember the Jaguar cores. They sucked.
Do you remember the old rumor that the Xbox One had a secret GPU in the
Oh
brick?
my god, I lived through that. Tim Dog was there. I think it was Crap Gamer that was screaming that secret GPU, secret source. Remember that? It was just crazy. The hopium was mad then, back then.
I can't remember who said it, but it was like, Xbox One is 720p, but it's because Microsoft hasn't unlocked the secret GPU yet.
I'm pretty sure Red Dragon was one of those saying that shit. It was just like ridiculous, and now he's gone the other way around. But yeah, it's just, I remember the secret GPU unlock, and it was just like, oh god, that was a horrible gen. You talk about this gen, this gen Xbox has great games, so much more than what even like PlayStation guys are looking for afford to. It's just weird. And last gen, it was horrible. Hardware was shit. The games were pretty good for the first 3 years, and then it's just like, yeah, it was different. It was a different gen, and I actually do like as much as I've argued and I'm disappointed in Xbox in its performance in terms of being a competitor in the space, which I think is relinquished. I'm also very intrigued about like the changes that we're seeing in this space are pretty severe as a result of Xbox going third party and what it's going to do in the hardware space and how that will force Sony's hand as well. I think a lot of people don't think that. I think a lot of people think Sony's like, we can relax now. And Sony also need to be very mindful of the fact that Xbox is still gaining mindshare on their console, on the back of their console. And Game Pass is going to continue to exist and be supplemented as a result of the extra revenue that Xbox gets as a result of PlayStation supplementing that. So, and that continues or extends, if you will, the existential threat that Game Pass provides to Sony and things like that. So there are definite angles there. So I'm very intrigued.
What they're doing is disruptive because you got to think like you say like Microsoft's not competing, but you have to think like they've thrown themselves into competition against Steam, and they've thrown themselves into competition not just with Steam but also other publishers.
Mm-hmm.
So I know like Call of Duty competes with Apex Legends, and Avowed's going to compete with Assassin's Creed Shadows, or potentially, or maybe even not, because people will just get it on Game Pass and maybe they won't even bother spending the $70 on Assassin's Creed Shadows at all. So it's definitely disruptive what Microsoft's doing because, potentially it incentivizes publishers to, support PlayStation even more and be like, well, if everyone's just if Game Pass has captured all the gameplay hours on Xbox, we should prioritize PlayStation where we don't have that competition necessarily. So it's the industry's just, it's in a weird place right now. You've got EA reporting that they've had fewer sessions. You got Ubisoft on the ropes, looking to hollow out and sell out to Tencent. You got studios closing left, right, and center. I saw High Res for a little while really felt like they were going to become a really big deal. They had Rogue Company, Paladins, Smite was doing well. It really felt like Hi-Rez was about to step up to the next level and be something akin to a Riot or a Blizzard,
Almost,
you know, if
right,
they could
yeah.
get their quality to that next level. But they've completely shit the bed. They've laid off everyone who isn't working on Smite 2. And they've cancelled development on Paladins and Rogue Company and Smite 1. So it's like they've gone all in on Smite 2. And if Smite 2 flops and fails, they are done. They are screwed. And it's for a time it was like there's no way. Like Hi-Rez is doing super good. You know, they've got all these viral hits going on, and yeah, they're a bit janky, but they're free, you know. But the addressable audience across the board seems to have shrunk, right? And we're in this sort of annoying sort of transitionary phase where it's like there's going to be a lot of doom and gloom across the whole industry.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like even Sony, like with the Concord stuff, and companies trying to figure out what to do. Like, do we? And I think they are sort of having this. They're in this phase of accepting that they have to shrink because there's fewer gamers to play against, and you are basically, in some regards, cannibalizing your own game. You know, to meet those people. So
even Nintendo's
yeah.
reaching out to third parties now actively. Now we had today Take Two today or yesterday come out and say that they're actively supporting Nintendo. Nintendo's now vying for the support of third parties. That's a significant kind of effort from Nintendo's part. Quite different. I think it marks a departure from their attitude, say, last gen, where they could rest on the laurels of their own first party, which is strong enough anyway. So, I know it sounds like copium, but...
Sorry, go on.
Were you going to say Harry?
I was going to say Harry got lucky in the chat says, I want cheaper games that take longer to make with worse graphics, and I'm not joking. And I kind of think that's the way it's going to go. I think it's like all these sort of like monstrously expensive games that try to be photorealistic as possible with, you know, Hollywood grade voice acting and all this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, you've got games that are mostly text based, like, you know, Persona, cleaning up, having absolutely amazing margins because they very cleverly recycle assets very well.
Yeah.
They don't use tons of voice acting. Like Elden Ring had what? Probably 1 page of dialogue in the whole game. You know?
Yeah, there's not much.
And Elden Ring's like the game of the gen so far, you know. And it probably cost a fraction of what, like, you know, and a Ubisoft is paying, or a Spider-Man, or a lot of these sort of these games that kind of insist upon themselves, you know. Like, look at us, we are
flashy,
Oscar award-winning worthy, you know.
Yeah.
And these sort of more humble games which go back to the basics and be like, nah, we gameplay first, hardcore gameplay first.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are kind of winning right now. So I think that's the industry is going to shift back in that direction where it's like
correction.
We're going to focus on like Space Marine 2 as well. You know, that was old school in all the right ways. I think Doom: The Dark Ages is probably going to be like that as well.
Yeah, man, definitely. I think
I think that is a good thing, personally.
Yes and no. Yes, that's a good thing because it's correcting itself, so we're going away from the bloat. No, the only reason I say no is this. I feel like the gaming industry in the AAA space has failed tremendously in taking the strides towards the next leap that we could potentially get. I'm genuinely astonished and disappointed at the lack of just not even vision or just the appetite to take risks. The only one that seems to take risks is a horrible example. If even I say I'll get lambasted, Star Citizen. But why is it that after God knows how many years World of Warcraft is out, I can't think of an MMO RPG that matches the might of that, or the scope of that? Why have I always been praying? Like, I'm still thinking of Huxley, the game that was revealed years ago on the 360 gen.
Yeah. I remember Huxley, man.
Remember Huxley, the Unreal Tournament?
The mech game, right?
It was a mech game / first-person shooter. Supposed to be RPG elements to it, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be like the WoW, but for first-person shooters. And we haven't had a Mass Effect MMORPG. I keep using that as an example so it helps people realize I want to play a massively multiplayer world where I can be in a ship with my friends. Me and you can go in and fly onto another planet together and have like a trading system like World of Warcraft's auction house where there was an actual economy going there and all of this stuff. And none of it, everything across the board. Nothing on the online space is even remotely close to that. And I want to work on a video on it, but it's really hard because you have to conceptualize ideas, explain it to people, and then get 3 views on it anyway because everyone is fucking, that's not the algorithm. So it's just like, I will do it. It's a passion project. I will make it more cinematic. And then everyone's gonna be like, guys, why are you not that loud, obnoxious little prick that you are in all your other videos? I'm like, there's different layers to me, you pricks. I'm not a fucking jester all the time. Please take me seriously. But at the same time, that's I'm a creature of my I'm a victim of my own.
You're an onion.
Yeah, no, I am an onion, but I'm a victim of my own success in terms of the outlier, the crazy person that I am, gaining more traction than the serious person that I am. But I don't know. That's I digress. But that's, God, I don't even know where in the timestamp that goes. Well, let's just move quickly forward because we've got quite a few topics to talk about. I'm trying to keep it under the 2-hour mark. Bruh, it's like, because Xbox went third party.
My curtains are getting trolled, man.
Huh? Your curtains?
My curtains are getting trolled.
Why, because your laptop's burning them?
No, Captain Beefheart says, Jez, I love your grass. It's been the flower pattern.
Oh, bless him.
I always tell my girlfriend we need new drapes because every time I go on camera, everyone's mocking my amazing drapes.
What is that? I thought it was a sword that you were holding at one point. You got the Horde tattoo?
Oh yeah, man.
Oh my God.
I'm a serious geek, bro.
Yo, I have so much respect for you, man. You have no idea. I know that's the most nerdiest thing someone will say, but bro, I actually believed in the Horde versus Alliance. It was like Israel-Palestine to me.
Man. Oh,
bro, I think I've told the story so many times, but I have to repeat it. I spent maybe 3 hours outside in Orgrimmar on top of the bank, and literally had don't worry about it. And then I was just firing fireworks out there. There's like manually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I was just screaming, yelling /Y. Guys, let's just raid Ironforge. Come on, you pricks, let's make a raid. What the hell? This is a PvP server, you little shits. Stop grinding for shitty stuff. Come on, let's do it. And I was like affliction lock there at the time, just screaming, and for 3 hours, and everyone's like, you're still doing this? All right, fine. People felt sorry for me, and I managed to get a raid group going, and we just died instantly. It was such a terrible raid group. Just pitied me. Man. But
best fucking times in that game,
bro. I had so much fun.
I played on an RP server, man. I played on an RP server.
Oh yeah.
So like when they had those Alliance versus Horde raids, everyone was in character.
That's crazy.
Sort of acting like I'm an orc, or I'm an undead. It was amazing. It was so cool. Nobody does that anymore because there's so much stuff to do in the game. Like, I've got to grind my daily quests, right? That people don't just play the game anymore or raid cities and shit like that. It was so good back then.
That's why I lost touch with it, because the world element of it just got gamified too much and it diluted away when they started. I remember just like me and my mates would just go around the higher level and just annoy the lower level Alliance by killing the quest givers for hours and not let them. That was my fun. That was my fun, to ruin them. And then they would get the high levels, log in and try and get you. And it was always a story. It was always so good.
I had an undead rogue logged out in Stranglethorn Vale just for that. Just for that. Ambush. And then log out.
Bro, I still remember the stories. My friend it was so much fun though. It was so much fun, and it's such a beautiful world when you go into Ashenvale and the music is weird and the place is beautiful, and it's like, shit, I'm an undead freaking warlock. I spend hours, days in a murky little forest fighting bats and the stupid murlocs that just give me PTSD. They're hearing their voice, and now I'm in this beautiful Ashenvale place, and this is enemy territory now. The writing is orange, and the enemies are not here. This is their base. It's all red now. And then you see someone like, Night Elf with it's just like, whoa, that looks weird. The shit, I'm scared. I still remember my first encounter on the
red text,
and
then they start backpedaling.
Yeah.
Oh shit, it's a horde. Yeah, dude, it was so cool. I still play it. Like it's still fun for what it is. Just playing with friends and having a clan, a guild, and just mashing through dungeons. Mythic Plus is really fun. I really like it. But it is a very different game compared to what it is. But it's so strange that Microsoft own it.
It is weird, isn't it? You don't
strange.
feel it. You don't feel it that Microsoft own it. Well, if they bring it to console,
it's
maybe.
so strange.
They should definitely bring it to console.
I have heard on that there is a small task force on World of Warcraft who's exploring bringing World of Warcraft to console. What would it take logistically? What gameplay changes would we have to make? Would it need to be a separate game?
Wow.
Because you couldn't play a disc priest with a controller. They'd have to change it so like
on
when you
mage
use powered shield, it automatically went on the person with the lowest health or something that.
Yeah.
Like how how Chain Heal works for a shaman, where it bounces intelligently to the right people.
Yeah.
So they'd have to change some gameplay elements, but I think it'll happen. I really think it'll happen. I mean,
it'd be stupid.
It's kind of a no-brainer, right?
It is a no-brainer. You could see it right now, man. They could retrofit. Well, I don't know if they could do classic WoW, but they could do it. And I think that's having console players go in and work their way through classic WoW is just the perfect way. How you do a mage on a controller is insane to me, but they can figure it out. And if they can, it would be I will jump back on, and it will take over people's lives. If you haven't played it, it will take over your life. It's one incredible game. And that's the kind of game.
Final Fantasy 14 is pretty good on a controller. Yeah. It's a Final Fantasy 14 is designed for controller, so I think it loses some of that hardcore high level play because it has to be more simplistic.
Yeah.
But I do wonder, like, if they did it as a separate game where it's like these servers are for controller players and everything's tuned differently, I think you could preserve the hardcore nature of the PC version where you've got like the high level mythic raid in play. Esports kind of level, no life. You need a keyboard for with macros and shit. And then you could have like a more casual version where it's like a little bit more of the abilities are sort of automatic.
Yeah.
I could see it happen, man.
I could see it happen. I'd love to see it happen. I think that'd be incredible. It'd just be so good. It'll be a moment if it does happen. Now, before we go into some other games, we have to talk about this. This has been dominating the airwaves for quite some time. Bro, the PlayStation Plus has been out. I don't even know if it's restored yet. Just before I went live, Gene Park was talking about the fact that he still can't get on and some bits are not working. Not all of it's on. PSN has been down for nearly 24 hours on a Friday evening, and it was bad. I tweeted like, lol, obviously I'm going to console war on Twitter because that's what I do. And wake up this morning and it's still going. Actually, before I do that, let me read your super chats. I really apologize. Seafood Poetic with the $5 super chat. But what happens when Horizon 6 is announced and doesn't immediately release on PlayStation? That's actually a good point, actually, Jez. Think about it. Now, you've said that Xbox it's just a question of getting teams to work on the next version, to dedicate resources to make the PlayStation versions right work. That can't happen right off the bat, and I'm pretty sure Forza Horizon 6 is coming soon. So think about, this is the strategy where I think Xbox would be really stupid not to explore the importance of something like this. So timed exclusivity to kind of, if you want, you can't just completely relinquish the value of your brand by just chasing the dollar all the time, by making games release day and date on Xbox and PlayStation. There are some titles that they really should seriously consider making timed. Like, so Forza Horizon 5 comes out and it's there. now PlayStation guys get to finally play a good racing game. And then they're dying now for Forza Horizon 6, and you know, for whatever reason Forza Horizon 6 comes out on Xbox. PlayStation guys, the masses will be thinking, well, why can't I play it on, oh, it's on Xbox, oh, it's on Game Pass? Like, these are easy sells. And you could say it'll come 3 months later. I don't think that's a massive hit. Like, they should really explore that. And Gears E-Day, like they'll bring the Gears collection this year perhaps, and then Gears E-Day doesn't come on PS5 day one. There's gonna be some chatter on the PlayStation side, like, oh right, well, we really liked Gears, why are we not getting this day one? I don't
think they'll do that. I think like I think we've kind of seen what happens when you release a game years or months after the fact. Like look at Spider-Man 2 on PC, you know, or look at Final Fantasy 16 on PC.
Yeah, it's
they
true.
both did pretty poorly, you know, and it's because like the zeitgeist ain't there. They are the sort of all-encompassing push when you have your marketing budget and your marketing books behind the game to drive excitement. There's no marketing or fanfare about Spider-Man 2 coming to PC, so no one really cares about it. People have moved on. Maybe people have already played it on their PlayStation 5, you know, and there's sort of no cross-pollination there. But if everything's on everything all at once, you get this sort of groundswell of conversation. You see the marketing, and it's like, maybe the marketing's got Xbox on it, and you see it like, is that on my PlayStation? Oh, it is on my PlayStation. I'm going to buy it because I've seen the marketing. Everyone's talking about it. My friends are playing it, blah, 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 blah. I think you lose that if you don't launch day and date.
Definitely do.
And I think that's how Microsoft feels, you know, where it's like...
but does it not even want to leverage a little bit of its brand over PlayStation?
I know you want them to do that.
No, but I think the strategy is a bit weird, though.
Their mentality would be like, if we are sort of getting to this point where we are flooding PlayStation with games, because they are pretty much getting to that point.
Yeah.
It'll be a case of like, people will start thinking, I should get an Xbox for Game Pass if I want to play all this stuff. Potentially that's what they're thinking.
I don't even market it that well, but okay, potentially.
I think you lose, they don't today, but I think like you lose that argument if you are doing things down the line, you know, because it's like, well, I'll wait for it. You don't have to wait for it if you've got Game Pass, and furthermore, you don't even have to pay for it, you know. And even if like, the thing about subscription services is that they reach a critical mass, right? Spotify this year, how old is Spotify now? 15 years, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
This was their first ever year of full year profitability in their entire, this year was their first ever year of full profitability.
Damn.
In that many years, because like when you've got that many users in, it's kind of like you're playing the long game. In Spotify's case, the really, really long game.
Bro, that's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, so they spent 15 years in deficit, but now, when you're a company that big, you go from like $1 billion in debt to being $1 billion in profit. And $1 billion in profit's a lot of money, you know, when it happens overnight like that. Captain Beefheart really likes my curtains, man. He's cracking me off in chat, man. Throwing me off. But yeah, I don't know. Again, it's all speculation. Like a lot of what seems common sense to us, where we're sitting here thinking like, they should increase visibility of Xbox on their games on PlayStation. They should market against Game Pass for things like Call of Duty. When I was in London for an event and the Call of Duty marketing was up, there was no mention of Xbox or Xbox Game Pass on any of the billboards.
Yeah.
And on the buses, on the, you know, all over London. It was just Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty. No mention of platforms and stuff. And you would have thought, you put an Xbox logo on there, you've just paid $1 billion for it, you know?
Yeah.
But, it's that fucking pole. Oh, man.
Your curtains have divided the chat. First,
oh dear.
How much was it? They're scoring, quite highly on Metacritic now. Either really low or really high.
It's divisive. It's like the Marmite curtain. But...
I like it. Let me quickly read these super chats. Shabs, bring back Windows Phone. Awesome to see Jez here. Hit that like. Cooper, yes, smash the like button. Over 316 of you on live. Thank you so much. And yeah, well, you were a Windows Phone freak. I swear to God, you kept sharing your Windows phone
man.
for years.
I love that phone, man. I love that phone so much.
And
also, I kind of got like an affinity for it because it started my career, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't covering Xbox. It was covering Windows Phone. Literally nobody was covering Windows Phone, man.
I wonder why.
So, but like there was millions of users. So it was like if you were covering Windows Phone, you were like catering for a very passionate niche. So that's what started my career, man. Windows Phone. So I've got a personal affinity for that shit.
Yeah,
and also a personal hatred of Satya for killing it.
Oh, you share your hatred for Satya with me. That's good for different reasons. Neil B, member for 2 months. Hey, Gaz and Jez, good to see you, gentlemen. Good to see you, Neil. Do you think the game devs will ever take full advantage of the next gen consoles? That's a strange question. They don't even take full advantage of where they should be taking advantage, which is PC, which I get it. There's myriad of configurations. But I think that you're going to find the same thing you find, Neil, with every other console gen. Like, it'll be started off. But to be honest, actually, Neil's question is quite interesting. We saw the GDC poll. GDC poll suggested that most developers now are focusing primarily on PC. So we might actually get what the equitable thing is, which is focus on PC and then, scale down to console. Whether or not that means taking full advantage of it, I don't know. Alam Andian with the $2 super chat. Thank you. Project Castrol could be the MMORPG we're waiting for. What is that? Have you heard of that? Project Castrol? Sounds like something an oil company would be sponsoring, but okay. I might check that out, Project Castrol. Phase 23 Brooklyn, New York. It's restored mostly. Face is a PlayStation guy. Take it with a pinch of salt. Mostly, you'll have a generous interpretation of mostly. But I have heard, like, it's starting to come back. Rambling Entertained, shout out to you. Thank you with the 5. He goes, if Xbox makes it a Steam Deck equivalent, drop the Xbox Live fee, can run UE5 games at 60 FPS, and can keep it at about $500, I'm getting it day one. There's quite a lot of qualifiers there from Rambling Entertained. But don't you think that the Live thing is... I know it's money that they're getting, but shouldn't they drop it?
Drop what, sorry?
The Live fee. There's Xbox Live Gold.
Right. I got a theory about this. And bookmark this. Because if it comes to pass, you'll be like, oh, Jet said that might happen.
Okay.
I've got a feeling that they will drop Xbox Live Gold for next gen only. For next gen only.
For next gen only?
Yeah. So it'd be like, upgrade to the latest system and get rid of having to pay for multiplayer. I don't think they'll drop it for Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S because the user base there is factored into the subsidies for the console. But if it is anachronistic, and Microsoft has said as much, Phil said in interviews that it's anachronistic and it's like a relic of the past. But it is also factored into the subsidies for the console. So when they're building out their business model for next gen, they will factor in the fact that Xbox, Live Gold will not be there. So potentially it's an incentive for people to upgrade, could give them a differentiator against PlayStation if PlayStation maintains the paywall. Also, it would be like Call of Duty is the best place to play on our box because you don't have to pay for multiplayer kind of thing, right? But most games you don't have to pay for multiplayer anymore anyway because the free to play games don't require Xbox Live Gold. But you have to wonder like how much of a big factor it's going to be going forward anyway. So it's part of the business model for these consoles, but I think because of the fact that they think it's old hat, I think they'll drop it.
That would be pretty bold, and that would be good. You get your flowers if that happens.
Well, if they remove the subsidies, the console pretends to be more expensive. So pros and cons, right? But what if it?
So what?
Because because you're subsidizing your Xbox by putting games on PlayStation, there's new subsidies, right?
Exactly. That's a big subsidy. So
Kid Huggy says, all ifs and buts. Bro, welcome to podcasting. That's what podcasting is.
Yeah, you want determined. It will absolutely
discussions.
Yeah.
We're not soothsayers. At least I'm not. You guys? You soothsayer? Oh, speaking of soothsaying, where are they? Oh, I can't find. Oh, no, they're there. I got some World of Warcraft tarot card.
Haram.
Haram? Blizzard sent them World of Warcraft tarot card.
Really?
I could do a tarot reading, predict the future of Xbox. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it going to come up with a picture of a toilet?
No, it's Skibbity toilet.
Oh shit. BT Maverick with a $10 super chat. Xbox's hybrid console should work just like the Steam Deck OS, where you have to go to into the desktop mode to get third-party PC store launchers, where first you have to go through the Xbox OS regardless. I agree with BT Maverick. Do you? I think so.
Yeah, I would hope it's like that, but it's also that factor of like, if people are using Steam, Microsoft's losing money, would Microsoft want that? Blah, 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 blah. It's that kind of like, does the business model work? So while I would personally love that, you know, someone with a hell of a lot of backlog on Steam, you know, I got Steam wishlist, man, and every time something comes up, oh, this game is on sale, I go, like, buy that shit.
Yep.
Never play it.
But I'm doing that right now, constantly. I love it. It's actually nice though. It's just buying him. It's just it's crack in itself. Alvin with the 5. Phil said some previously released games we won't bring over. So any words on Killer Instinct? I still play and would love a PS release to revitalize the scene. You know what? Killer Instinct is the one thing I would actually genuinely be happy if it got a relaunch and came out on PlayStation, because I just feel like
even before this shit started going down, I was saying, like, you got to put Killer Instinct on PlayStation, because that's where the fighting game ecosystem is.
Yeah.
You know? But I've got a theory about that. I think, because Iron Galaxy had layoffs recently, I think Iron Galaxy pitched Killer Instinct 2 and then Microsoft rejected it.
Bastards. Absolutely atrocious.
Iron Galaxy worked on the native Killer Instinct client for Xbox Series S and X. They also did a couple of balanced passes. And they also went to Evo to represent Killer Instinct as well. Yeah. So it was like, oh, Iron Galaxy's back in the driver's seat for Killer Instinct. But now they've had layoffs. And I kind of feel like if Microsoft was bankrolling them to make Killer Instinct 2, they probably wouldn't be having layoffs. But that's just a theory. That's just a theory. A game theory. So I don't know if that's true. I haven't investigated it, but it's just kind of a theory I've got. But they have repeatedly said they want Killer Instinct to be a pillar franchise. But I suppose it's just like, who makes it? You know?
Yeah.
Who makes it? Maybe Iron Galaxy's not, because you have to remember, Iron Galaxy built on top of what Double Helix made. So yeah. Iron Galaxy didn't necessarily make the game from the ground up. So maybe they aren't the right studio to really make a AAA Killer Instinct, because I think Microsoft's mostly done with releasing mid games. They want to be known for at least like high quality AA, at least at a minimum. Yeah. And Iron Galaxy deliver that in their current state after Rumbleverse, all that kind of stuff. Maybe not, but it's like, who do you get to make it? I see a lot of people banded around like Bandai Namco's fighting game division, but there's even rumors that they've all been laid off, and there's only a very small team working on Tekken.
Really? You know? Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm sure I read that somewhere.
I thought Tekken was doing really well.
I think it is doing well, but it's like a lot of these companies are like, we want more margins. So a great way to get margins is sack people, right?
Yeah.
Sack people off. Replace them with AI. Replace them with robots. Like Bill Gates said this week. Replace everyone with AI.
Is that
soon, guys? We won't even need to be podcasting. We can feed your videos into a language model, and just they can share our opinions for us while we play, I don't know, anime games or something.
What a beautiful, incredibly bright future you've just painted for us there. That's really nice. But what is that? Bill Gates said that AI is going to replace human beings?
He said something like, I'm paraphrasing heavily here because I can't remember the exact quote, but he said something along the lines of, AI will replace most humans for most things, but you're not going to want to watch robots play baseball, I think he said. But like, I remember a game from the 90s, or Baseball 2000, which was robots playing baseball, and that was pretty fucking sick, actually.
I remember Robot Wars? Robot Wars! Was that? Yeah.
I think robots playing baseball would be fucking awesome, actually.
Actually, I would watch it. It'd be crazy. Like Destruction Derby.
Like, you got like a robot that can like hit the ball for like 50 miles or something, and then like the drone follows the ball and it smacks someone in the head. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of things I would watch the robots do. But I want the Futurama where you can get like a robot and a hummus. But yeah,
a robot what?
No, don't worry about it. Just being a perv. BT Maverick with the 5, but unlike Haram indeed. But unlike Steam Linux OS, third-party launchers will just work for Xbox without using Proton's anti-cheat. Just works for Xbox's device, unlike Steam OS. What the frick does that? Let me read that again. But unlike Steam's Linux OS, third-party launchers will just work for Xbox without using Proton's anti-cheat.
Yeah, so this is one of the downsides of Proton right now. A lot of kernel level anti-cheat systems either don't work at all or don't work properly. And also like a lot of anti-cheat programs detect TDP changes and the Steam overlay as a hack, you know. Even on the Asus ROG Ally and the Nova Legion Go, when you've got like the overlay which lets you change the voltage.
That's seen as a hack.
So a lot of anti-cheat, like Call of Duty's anti-cheat, in fact, sees that as, oh, they're trying to tamper with the files, you know. Ban that motherfucker, you know. So
because I guess how aimbot works, I guess makes sense.
Yeah, kernel level anti-cheat is like this big contention right now with Proton. But there's thousands of single player games, like even if multiplayer is an issue for Proton, because at the end of the day, 96% of Steam players are on Windows, according to Steam's hardware survey. 96%.
That's mad.
So developers prioritize Windows when they're building anti-cheat stuff. And I think EA was kind of clowned on for this, but EA recently said when we removed Linux players from
Apex Legends.
From Apex Legends, the amount of cheating went down. I suppose their argument was Linux is more hackable, but it's like, yeah, but by that logic, if you remove Windows players, you're going to lose 100% of the cheaters, right?
Yeah. Or maybe cheaters gravitate towards Linux because of whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's probably solvable. You know, like Proton itself is really impressive. It's really like impressive what they've done to sort of emulate the Windows build of a game on top of Linux is really impressive. It's absolutely spectacular. And I think it really blindsided Microsoft, you know, which is why they've come back to PC so strongly, because they're like, oh shit, this is an existential threat. You know, even though it's like 4% or 2% or wherever it is right now, I think it's 2% Mac, 2% Linux, and 96% Windows. Still an existential threat, right?
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
Indeed. Albert with a 5. Phil has admitted in interviews, like with Carnage, like Killer Instinct is one of the most consistently requested games. Better not have binned it. Yeah. And they even had a campaign, remember, to bring Killer Instinct back. Maximilian was involved in it. It was a big thing, and then nothing happened. Yeah. So
I spoke to them in LA. I spoke to Matt Booty specifically about Killer Instinct, and they said it was just a matter of finding the right team.
Yeah.
So
it's harder.
I think they should just bite the bullet and put a team together. You know, I mean, they haven't had a great track record of putting teams together. You know, still waiting for Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
But there must be enough fighting game pedigree out there to put together a killer pun intended, a killer all-stars fighting game team to build Killer Instinct, you know.
I think NetherRealm would not be should strongly consider doing that little mashup that between Mortal Kombat and Killer Instinct that people have been asking for, because Mortal Kombat 1 was ass. And I don't know what happened to that, but it's like, you need to do something. And Warner Brothers are really putting the pressure on now.
Was it bad?
It was so shit. I streamed it for 9 hours. It was horrible.
What was bad about it?
Oh, bro.
I haven't touched Killer Instinct since it was 2D, but...
No, I'm talking about Mortal Kombat.
Sorry. I meant that Mortal Kombat. I haven't touched Mortal Kombat since it was 2D.
Oh, bro, Mortal Kombat is so good since Mortal Kombat 9, man. It was amazing. The story mode is incredible, but the story mode of Mortal Kombat 1 was absolutely... I can't think of another word other than pussified. And it's Mortal Kombat, and it's really, the story was shit. You can see my I'm fine. I saved this game to stream because I love Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 2 or what? No, Mortal Kombat 1. Sorry, Mortal Kombat 1 was my first ever game ever. Well, I played on PC a little bit because not my own PC. I had a Sega Mega Drive. It was my first ever console that I owned, and Mortal Kombat 1 was my first game, so it's always been my game, and I saved it for stream, even though I know my audience does not give a shit. Whatever this tiny channel is, they wouldn't give a shit about Mortal Kombat. I had to stream it, and you can see me, guys, play Mortal Kombat, and it's just like instantly like, what? What is this? It's so bad. The dialogue was atrocious. The story made no sense. It was not even Mortal Kombat. The spirit of the game was gone, diluted for, you could tell, like, Gen Z, let's make it like super like hip. Oh, you know whatever they call it. It was so utterly wank. I was like, this used to be a dark, gruesome game. The characters were shit. No one I liked. It made no sense. It was worse than the freaking movies, and that says something because they're terrible. I
like those movies, man.
The old classic ones, yeah, but there was some really shit one. The last one that
I never watched the more newer ones.
No, they were horrible.
When I was a kid, I had Mortal Kombat 1 on VHS. I recorded it off the TV, and I watched it so much the tape warped.
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember those days. I used to have Guyver on tape, and that warped. I watched that so much. Shabs Inevitable with a £2 super chat. He's got it dead to rights. Think of Saints Row reboot. That's what Mortal Kombat is. The Saints Row reboot was
with Gen Z language.
Oh, it was just like that. Gen Z language is horrible. It was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, no. It was just 9 hours of me streaming and just utter disbelief, and then trying to smile about it and then cry because it was bad. But yeah, before we do the PlayStation outage, it's bad. And you tweeted saying this, you little console warrior, you stealth console warrior. This is definitely
stealth console warrior.
It was a stealthy little bars you were dropping there. What would you say? It was here. You said this: a PlayStation being down should probably be a wake-up call for Microsoft and Xbox about how much money you can potentially lose if you rely on ecosystems, third parties, others ecosystems to provide your access to customers.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a lot of people took that as an attack on PlayStation Network, but it really wasn't. It was an attack on Satya Nadella's philosophy, which is like, we rely, rather than have our own phone, we want to rely on Google and Apple to play nice. Rather than build our own Xbox ecosystem, we'll rely on Steam and PlayStation to play nice. When you don't have your own ecosystem, you lose all your political clout.
Yeah.
So like, PlayStation Network being down for 12 hours has probably cost them millions of dollars. No microtransactions, especially on the weekend or Friday. No microtransactions, no games being played, all that kind of stuff. That costs them millions of dollars, and big games like Call of Duty cost them millions of dollars, and the point of the tweet was having the diversification of revenue streams is absolutely should be the strength of the platform. But people took it as a console war tweet because people have tunnel vision. They just saw, oh my god, criticism of PlayStation Network, but Xbox was down 10 months ago, and it's like, yeah, that's my fucking point. That's my point, bro.
Yeah.
Diversify your revenue streams. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
So do you think PlayStation's in trouble then? Or will they diversify?
Well, they have diversified. They're trying to diversify to PC, aren't they? And they'll probably diversify even harder to PC, you know. And they've tried to diversify with service games. So they put all their eggs in the single player basket. And now they're like, we should probably have some service games to claw back some of that revenue from our competitors who are absolutely dominating us here, and Microsoft who purchased their way to dominance here. You know.
I want to check this. There's this Sebastian Cooper guy who's crying like a little bitch in the chat. You guys don't even play games. I looked at your Xbox. You don't even play freaking Mortal Kombat. What the fuck are you talking about? Here it is with some receipts. I used to play ranked Mortal Kombat, and I used to have a chick as an avatar. This is my old. This is an HDP VR test. You know, back then when we had to no DVRs. And you want to talk about my skills, you little shit? Sebastian Cooper crying there like a little virgin that you are. Shut your mouth, bro. Watch me murk these random people all the time. I used to play right. Get my stats up for Mortal Kombat 9. You talking absolute bollocks. I was Kung Lao. I remember these freaking combos by heart. And there's so much lag here because the netcode on Mortal Kombat 9 was absolutely, utterly atrocious. So you had to predicate where the moves. I'm still doing these combos. Look at these. You think you can do these combos with lag, you little shit? I pulled this up here, you little prick. Sit the fuck down. Now get banned, you little shit. Man. Talk so much bollocks. You're not a purist like me. Why? Because I haven't got 17 chins and freaking type 17 diabetes. Shut your mouth, prick. But yeah, so just talking shit. Oh, Jez doesn't even play any games. What the frick? We're talking about games all day. You just talk crap.
I haven't played World of Warcraft since early November, I think, when we killed Queen Ansarek. So
I don't even know what that is. I haven't played it. The last time I played Mortal Kombat was in World of Warcraft was the classic thingy. World of Warcraft classic came out, and then I gave up at 59, level 59, because all my friends kind of I just dropped out. But World of Warcraft classic was a really good. I might go back. Oh, no, I'm not gonna go back. This is evil, and you know, trying to get enough people to. I don't know. But why? Is he saying you don't play enough World of Warcraft? You piece of shit. Mortal Kombat 9 was fire.
Nah, he's just saying that I only play one game. Like, there was a period when World of Warcraft expansion dropped. Yeah, I pretty much only played World of Warcraft for like months and months and months.
That's what you do when you play World of Warcraft.
That's what you do when you're hardcore. But the season's over now, so then stop. And this year so far, I've completed Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3. Started playing 7, the original. I completed Remake again, and now I'm doing my second playthrough of Rebirth. And now, like, Season 2's coming for World of Warcraft, and I'm sitting there thinking, do I play Season 2, or do I play Monster Hunter Wilds? Because I've been waiting for Monster Hunter to come back for a long time, man.
Yeah. Monster Hunter,
Sebastian said he's joking.
Yeah, Sebastian's gonna regret. He got shot. He was not joking. The way he was dropping his bars, he got put in his place, and I'm just joking. I played it on PC. That's why you didn't see it on my Xbox. It's on stream, for God's sake. I even said it 9 hours. Don't shut your ass, man. I just don't.
Gaz is sensitive about his Mortal Kombat skills.
I literally told him I streamed it.
Do you play much Killer Instinct?
Huh?
Have you played much Killer Instinct?
Yeah, I played quite a lot of Killer Instinct. I had quite a few days on it.
Bro.
I need to go back on it, but who's your main? Mine was Saberwolf.
Spinal Man.
Spinal Man. Oh shit.
Spinal's the only one I can really play to any degree. I'm not good at it. But I had a back. Do you know Sightless Combat?
Sightless Combat, no.
So Sightless Combat is on Twitter. He's a blind Killer Instinct killer ranked player. He's blind. He plays by sound.
What? How can you play by sound?
He can hear the whether it's a light or mid or heavy punch and put the right combo breakers in. Because they designed the sound that way. He does it by sound. It's crazy.
That's incredible.
I beat him the first game, but then he wiped the floor. Like once he knew what my playstyle was, he fucking wiped the floor with me for like 10.
That's mad. That's incredible.
Yeah. He's awesome, man. He's a cool dude.
I played for 16 days and 21 hours of Killer Instinct. But
that's probably more than me.
Yeah, no, so I was really annoyed because as soon as that game had the best netcode, and it had ranked, and I was like really high ranked on it early days, and then something wiped, and it started from scratch again, and I was so pissed. Put on the forums, no one gave a shit.
I saw that happen to people, yeah.
No one gave a shit.
Happen. People lost their rank and stuff.
Guys is trash at Halo. I'm not that good at Halo anymore. I used to be. Oh, actually, I used to always have shit internet when I played Halo, so my KD was always terrible until recently with Halo Infinite. But Rambling Entertained, I'll carry you.
I'm so bad at Halo. I'm so bad at Halo, man.
Guys is trash at Halo. Jez needs to keep an eye on the Wayward Realms. The Elder Scrolls 6 may be in trouble. Why?
Elder Scrolls 6?
Or TES? That's what he's referring to. Thunder and Spinals fuck shit up. For me, it was Saberwolf just based on speed. But Jago was pretty standard one. But yeah, sorry, I
What's the Wayward Realms? Is that an upcoming game? I don't know it.
Or expansion, perhaps. It sounds like an expansion. But yeah. Okay, well, PlayStation Plus is down, and Xbox PlayStation sucks. We know that. What's the other topic? Yeah, so sorry. GTA freaking 6, man. Let me just talk about that for a sec. Oh shit, man, is reconfirmed. GTA 6 is actually reconfirmed by the Take-Two themselves. I feel like they had to come out and say it. So, because investors and whatnot, and they spent like God knows like $2 billion on it. Do you still believe that it's gonna come out this year? I don't know, bro. I don't know, man.
I have no idea, man. I have no idea.
But if that
they say it is, they said it in their recent investor call, it is. So I kind of feel like if you're telling investors that it's definitely slated for this year,
yeah,
you kind of set yourself up to have your share price battered if it misses that launch date, right?
Yeah.
So they must be pretty damn sure that it's going to be released. But will it be in a polished state? Will it be a mess? Will it release in a staggered fashion, i.e. single player first, multiplayer a month or two later or something? I don't know. But one thing I do know is, guys, it won't be as good as Monster Hunter Worlds.
Shut the flip up, man. Have you played it? You've been playing it, actually. I see you into it.
I've been playing, yeah. I love Worlds, man.
Is it really good?
It's already fantastic, yeah. I mean, it's just Worlds, but bigger, new monsters, all that kind of shit, man.
I played World with my mate.
I'm a big Monster Hunter dude, man.
Yeah.
I love World. I put like 800 hours into World, something like that. My brother's got like 4,000 hours in World.
Wow. That's crazy.
He's super hardcore, man.
4,000?
Absolutely super hardcore.
It's a good game, though. It's a good game. I did complete, did some post-game stuff with my mate Jim. It was a really good game. And, when is that coming out?
February, I want to say. Maybe early March. I think it's mid-February, late February, something like that.
Okay.
But the there's an open beta up right now, and if you do the beta, you get a bunch of your character carries over in this beta.
Oh, that's actually pretty sick. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's more like an early access demo, really. But it's so good, man. Oh man, it's so good.
But as good as it is, it's not going to be GTA. And GTA, irrespective of whether or not you have an affinity for more Monster Hunter Worlds, is going to seriously determine the fate of so many games that are coming out this year. Because
it's going to melt the industry.
It will melt the industry, yeah. And people will delay their games, man. Like, who in their right minds? Like, if Fable was planned for release in fall of 2025, if I'm Playground Games, I am not releasing Fable in 2025. If I'm Sucker Punch and Ghost of Yotai is scheduled for 2025 and I'm Sony, I am not releasing Ghost of Yotai in fall of 2025 anywhere remotely close to this bloody game, because it's going to dominate everything from like, there's going to be a buffer period before it's released, about say 3 weeks before the release of GTA 6. You do not release anything before. If you want to stand, if it's a AAA game that you've invested a lot of money in, why would you do that? And anything after that, I don't even know how long that will take. And I also think Rockstar should do what they did with GTA 5, which is stall out the release of the multiplayer. So have a week of playing single player, and then do multiplayer. And that's only Rockstar get that exception because GTA is such a special game. I just remember just going to the gym, talking to randoms about what we were playing. Like people, they were just listening to our conversations, and we just started chatting to random people. But oh yeah, how far have you gone into the story? I've done this and that. You know, got to control Trevor. All of this. It was amazing. So it was like a moment. So that's why I want them to stall out, not just release multiplayer straight away, and then you got the thirsty shits. You know, day one just going off and doing the multiplayer. By the time you finish the single player, and it's really freaking shit. You know, to go to multiplayer because you've got the try-hard sweats already building their mansions and whatnot on it. But, you know, GTA 6 coming out this year will change so much. 2025 will be the year of GTA. The Game of the Year conversation should pretty much be decided there as well if you care about that stuff. It's going to be GTA. Anything supplants GTA is going to be insane. Nothing's going to take over GTA, assuming this game bangs. And I cannot, and this may be, well, I say I cannot see Rockstar failing this, but Rockstar did fail with GTA 4, in my opinion, which was the most over-engineered.
Wasn't that the one with Nico Bellic?
Huh? Yeah, Nico Bellic, yeah.
And Cousin Roman?
Yeah, that one. Let's go bowling.
That was awesome.
Nah, man, I feel like everyone rated that so highly, and it just forgot to be fun.
I really enjoyed that one.
A lot of people did, but I didn't. I thought GTA 4 was just like, what, driving was so
GTA
boring.
5 was better.
Yeah, way better.
It had a Windows phone in it.
Is that
Trevor's phone? Is a Windows
was
phone.
it Windows? It was. I remember the tiles now.
Trevor's phone is a fucking Windows phone, yeah. Like each of the protagonists had a different phone, mate. And Trevor had a Windows phone. So,
the chat. Let me do a poll here because this is good. Did you like GTA 4? I don't know, man. I thought it was I gravitated towards Saints Row straight away because, oh wow, look, driving the car is fun. In that game, it was like driving a boat. It was horrible that you take the taxi and fast travel everywhere. That's what I did. The Roman constantly.
It was supposed to be. It's supposed to have an air of realism, right?
Yeah, but that's where they went a bit too far. A lot of
people say that about Red Dead Redemption. It was like a lot of people say like, oh, the controls are too stiff and sluggish, and it's like, yeah, but they're going
I
for
appreciate that. That one made sense.
I like that, you know. And I ain't someone who gets super hyped for Grand Theft Auto, you know.
You are.
I'm not.
I'm not hyped.
A huge Grand Theft Auto guy, but
I'm a huge. I just get excited for it, and I don't. GTA 4 wasn't all that, but GTA 5 is going to be. GTA 6 is going to be incredible, man. What are you talking about? It's going to be amazing. You just book the time off, just play that game, stream it. I don't care. My clients, I'm forewarning them when the game gets released. I am not going to be doing your completions. You need to chill and let me just chill for a week and play this game, because, bruh, this is going to be a moment. It's going to be. It's going to be a moment, man. Like, I still remember what. I'm kind of annoyed I had to watch it on the train, but. Jez, like, we do this gaming stuff day in and day out. I know it's different strokes for different. I'm not saying you should be excited for it. I can't force you to be excited. Different strokes and all that, yeah. But I was on the train.
It's going to be awesome. Like, I'm not like...
Yeah, I know
I'm not saying, like, oh, I don't care about it. But it's like, I kind of like the more fantastical kind of stuff, you know? Like, I'm more interested in fighting a giant monster than I am being a gangster kind of thing.
Yeah,
but like I'll appreciate. Like I prefer Red Dead Redemption. You know, it's a little bit more.
I got that on my PC now. Yeah, I get that. And honestly, but for me, it was just like how much time we spent on GTA, the online crew that we made, doing the little editor, had our crew colors. They're the fun. I've got still for my HD PVR footage saved. I cannot delete it. It's just such a moment. And GTA 5 is going to be that moment. I'm praying to God that it doesn't falter. It has to with that much. I can't see it. Just the trailer alone. I was on the tube watching it, and I had just massive smile on my face. Like really, like anyone looking at me was probably thinking, "This guy, what the hell? Did he win the lottery or something?" He's really smiling. I was watching something really interesting, and you know, you smile when I watched Doom Eternal, Doom: The Dark Ages. I was more like, oh, it was really good. But this was different. This was like I knew back then as the music was kicking in, I was just like, it just tingles down. Because this is it. This is the best gaming studio in the world making the most expensive video game ever made, and you're watching the trailer for it, and it's GTA 6 as Grand Theft Auto. And if that happens this year, I'm going to be, I'm so happy. I'll be so happy. I don't care about everything gets delayed. I don't care.
I'm interested, like, what it does for console sales. Because it's not launching on PC, right? Not supposedly. So if it's launching later on PC, then a lot of PC gamers who love Grand Theft Auto, they might be compelled to get a PlayStation or an Xbox in that scenario.
Definitely. How can you miss GTA?
We saw that. Not MLB The Show. College football did some numbers for Xbox Series S.
Yeah.
You know, because it wasn't on last gen.
Oh yeah.
You know. So if it is going to be this big kind of event, and it is a console exclusive, because let's face it, most games are on PC as well at launch.
Yeah.
So this is a rare AAA banger console exclusive, you know.
This is a very rare moment. If anything's going to sell consoles, it's going to be this. It's nothing else is going to come close to it. If this can't sell console, nothing can sell consoles. GTA 6 is going to be incredible, man. I'm just thinking about so many different things come into mind. Funnily enough, my friend Jake actually gave me the repository of leaks for this game way before people started reporting on it, and I could have made so much content, and it was all accurate about the two protagonists and that, because this was on Reddit leaks, but he had really nailed it down. Plus, he had some peeps in this space, and bro, that the game is going to go for. I don't know. GTA has to evolve. Like, I don't know what they're gonna. They always smash it out. But what are you expecting? This more of the same sandbox plus? I don't know, man. I think they're gonna.
I have no idea. I think it's gonna be like more interactive, because one of the things Rockstar do is they try to make everything as interactive as possible. So, and they just every time they release a game, it's like, we've doubled down on this, we've doubled down on this, we've doubled down on it again. I'm just imagining like the most immersive interactive sandbox ever. It just sort of blows everything else away, but. You know, we do live in this weird kind of time where developers have struggled to deliver that. Like, I feel like Cyberpunk had some of that expectation behind it, and then it wasn't sort of. Yeah, it wasn't. Cyberpunk ended up being great.
Yeah,
and I loved it at launch, but it wasn't quite the Grand Theft Auto sci-fi game that I think the marketing kind of built it as a little bit, maybe. Like, the police weren't even interactive. They were like part of the background, basically. So I was expecting Witcher 3 sci-fi, but a lot of people were expecting Grand Theft Auto sci-fi. And, you know,
they did
I
not.
think only Rockstar can deliver that. I think only Rockstar can do that.
Well, they faltered on their own promises on a lot of things, on the player choices and how big the difference they would make into the game world. The game world's AI was hollow as damn. Like, even GTA freaking 5 from 2 gens before it were superior in the game world. I don't think you can get away from that. But after making such a lofty promise, the world felt hollow. The buildings looked nice, but the NPCs felt hollow. So they definitely faltered on it. By the way, the Wayward, what's it called? Wayward Realms. I've got the footage playing. That rambling sense of it playing on Steam. It's it looks like the Elder Scrolls. It looks kind of cool, although this ship stuff looks kind of jagged. This is the Steam video player on the marketplace, so it's not going to be the best player anyway playing, but it's something. I haven't heard of it, but it looks kind of cool. Oh, the graphics look pretty sick here. It might be something to watch out for. It's running at like 3 frames. I don't know if that's the Steam player or not.
It'll be at least as good as
5. What? Which game are you talking about?
Grand Theft Auto 6 will be at least as good as Dragon Age: The Vanguard. Hopefully.
So it has the potential to be absolutely shite. I haven't played it, but it just looks crap. Nah, GTA 6 is going to be killer, man. Like, the character's going to be mad. The story's going to be crazy. It's just going to do some... I don't even know how... Like, from the trailer, there was so much going on. People are wondering technically how the CPU even handled this freaking madness. And then on the online front as well, we haven't even talked about that. They've hired all the, people who did the role play stuff. I never got involved in the roleplay stuff on GTA, but I've seen video clips of it, and it's hilarious. And I so badly want to do that kind of content. So they're really leaning in onto the online arena. This is not a product that is designed to fail. This is designed to take over people's lives. GTA 5 still dominates the sales charts. GTA 6 could be doing something really impeccable. And if it does release this year, it's the year. This is I
believe.
You think
I
it will?
believe. Yeah, I think
Yeah, it's such a. I don't know. Like, so much can go wrong with this. Some part of me doesn't believe it. It will, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm so excited. I might be working on a video on on GTA 6 and what to expect from it, because this is it, man. Like, if it's 2026, GTA is coming out this year, then oh god, we need to get ready for it, man. This is a moment, man. I can't stress it enough. Everyone
They should do GTA 7 in London.
No.
Yeah, man.
Nah, that's just
No,
shit.
no guns, only knives. Only knives.
Have you seen GTA? Have you ever played The Getaway?
No, I haven't. But there was a GTA London.
There was
a
a
2D one.
The 2D over the top. I played that. It was a bit shit with the battens that come in the police like coming at you. But The Getaway was an incredible game on the PS2. Yeah, PS2. Where
Never played it.
so good, man. It looked really good. I remember at the time playing The Getaway. Oh, I need to pull up some footage of it. And I remember back then thinking, oh my god, it can't get even more realistic than this. Look at the white vans. They looked so realistic. And they had a really cool mechanic where the indicators were basically telling you where to go. Like, they would auto indicate left and right. So that was kind of like your sat nav.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool gameplay. Yeah, it's
Setting in Birmingham, man. Like Peaky Blinders, Grand Theft Auto.
Was it?
In the olden days. No, they should do that.
I thought it was set in
GTA
London.
Birmingham.
Oh, GTA Birmingham.
Man.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Birmingham's such a
Hey,
shit
GTA
hole.
Birmingham, man.
Don't tell me you're from Birmingham. I hate Birmingham. Every time I went to London Excel like there, and then it had events there. Oh god, it was so depressing. Birmingham's so depressing, man.
Oh man.
Birmingham.
But dude, we've got the bull ring.
What's the bull ring?
You're not... It's got a bull in it.
Oh,
Big robot bull.
really?
Huh? Yeah.
Oh my god.
No.
No. Oh, is it the one with all this there's a skanky hose on it, and then just like the underwear comes off and all that shit? I think I've seen some clips.
Birmingham's a rough place.
Oh my, it's so depressing.
The whole West Midlands, really. I think they should. I should genuinely think they should set a Fallout game in the West Midlands in the UK.
I don't think so.
It'd be lit.
Or maybe DLC, but even that would be what? It's going to be raining all the time. It's going to be shit. It's going to have
nuclear rain, acid rain. Yeah, man.
acid rain. It's going to be shit. Oh, I don't know. I don't think it can do a London, but we'll see.
My town in the West Midlands has the county's only nuclear waste storage facility. So there you go. You're halfway there to Fallout.
Yeah.
There's the Titanfall game. There's people in chat are saying, I forgot about Titanfall. Rebellion are kind of doing a Fallout game in the UK, kind of, sort of.
Really?
That's coming out in March. Yeah.
Well,
It's like a steampunk kind of Fallout-y kind of game set in the UK.
Really? What's it called?
Atomfall.
Atomfall.
Yeah. Atomfall.
I've seen the footage of Atomfall.
Hey, Captain Chats in chat is a dingle, born in Wolverhampton. I'm from Walsall, mate. The slightly better town, in my view.
GTA Norwich. Jokes.
Captain Chats is off to Warsaw. My condolences.
Oh man. Okay, I think that's how much you were talking about GTA. Oh, very quickly before we do go, we have to talk about this one. Battlefield. Tell me you're a Battlefield fan. You have to be a Battlefield fan. Come on, bro. This week we also
I'm a Battlefield guy. I mean, I more so than COD. I think Battlefield 1, and I know this is probably a controversial take, but Battlefield 1 is probably my favorite shooter of all time.
Battlefield 1.
It's
wow.
Yeah, Battlefield 1. I love that game. I love. It's so different. It's different but good, man. So I really, really, really love Battlefield 1. But the one I played the most is probably Bad Company 2. I absolutely me and my friends, man, in my 20s, we absolutely rinsed that game, playing it non-stop. Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. Didn't play so much Battlefield 5. Battlefield 5 is where I kind of felt like it started getting a bit, oh, they're losing their way a bit here. And then Battlefield, 2042, I just terrible, I think.
Yeah, man. 2042, I played the alpha, got into it, and instantly was shocked at how shit it was. Like, it was bad. It was bad. I was just like instantly knew.
It felt like it was designed almost by two different teams. Like the maps were not designed for the combat that they built.
yeah, I know what you
just
mean.
These big, flat, empty maps. I think I saw there was this whole conspiracy theory that it was designed for Battle Royale. And that's why the game felt so weird, like no choke points or no cover, really. Not much destruction. The maps were either too big or too small, like really strange, man. And also like I don't know, I just couldn't gel with it. There's something about Battlefield 2042 that I just couldn't gel with. Like
There was no like the hit detection was shit as well. It's just,
I almost can't put my finger on it.
Apparently it's really good now. Apparently it's fun now if you play it. But it's just
I've tried, man. I've tried to go back to it and I just still can't get into it.
Bro, Battlefield
we've got Vince Zampella working on Battlefield 6.
And that's why it's gonna be the best. Vince Zampella, look, there's only a few people I can vouch for in the gaming industry, like Rex strongly. If you cannot vouch for Vince Zampella, you cannot vouch for anyone. The guy, basically, him and Frank West together on their team, the original Infinity Ward, created Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1 and 2. 2 to me just stole my life, bro. Then he made Titanfall, which is an incredible game.
So good.
So good.
So good.
And then people cried about the fact there was lack. Same, man. I played Titanfall 1 to death as well. And then people cried about the lack of campaign. And then he did a Titanfall 2. And then now the campaign is regarded by many as some of the best campaign. It's like, yo.
So good.
Like, this guy is amazing. He understands FPSs so well, man. And I love Titanfall 2 as well.
As good as he is, it's still EA. It's still EA. So it's like, how much faith can I put into this with the way EA is going? Like, EA was only out here recently, like, talking about how people want live service elements in their games, and that's why Valguard, alluding to the fact that's why Valguard struggled. And it's like,
it's so tone deaf. It's unbelievable. They're so clueless. I don't understand that. But luckily,
sorry, go on.
Baldur's Gate, what? Baldur's Gate.
I was going to say Baldur's Gate has multiplayer, but it's not why people play or love Baldur's Gate. It's because it's got good writing, good combat, and
trillion options.
Just fun. And Valguard feels like a corporate, developed by a corporate interest. I don't know. Darcy says, quick off topic, Gaz, you look slimmer and more fit, lad. There you go. Nice compliment for you there.
Oh, that's nice. It's just only because I shaved my beard. It was just massive, and I wasn't taking care of that. I just thought, this look is not working. Let me just shave the beard. But I've been going to the gym. And Ramadan's coming, so I'm going to get even more skinnier. But I was going to say, bro, that I know it's EA, but Vince Zampella is the same kind of guy who, remember, EA was doing all this weird, like that cheesy corporate tweets, being edgy stuff. And he was like, shut up. He said that. And he's working under EA. He's like, oh, just stop. This is ridiculous. The guy just is a savage when it comes to that stuff. And he does not want to sit down and tolerate anything. Like, he will. This game has now, which is quite unique for Battlefield, multiple teams and studios. You've got Criterion working on it. You've got DICE doing the multiplayer, which is absolutely fine. That's what you need to do. They need to, for ages, Jez, every time, you say Battlefield 1 is your favorite FPS of all time. Battlefield 2 for me was one of the best FPSs. One of the best FPS. It had commander mode. It was all the Battle for Karkan. The maps. Oh, it was just so good. It was so good. And Battlefield 3 I enjoyed a lot because it was more immersive for me because I love jet combat, and just the fact that I could take off and just hear the the rattle of the jet. I know it sounds so stupid, but that kind of stuff really was really like immersive for me at the time, and I love that shit. And Battlefield 4 got rid of it, so you just teleported into the sky when you're in the jet. It was so shit. I know it's these little things, but they matter so much, and I hope he brings it back. But Battlefield 2 was incredible, but the problem was, if you were on the forums of Battlefield 3, that like I was just listening to these developers say the most horrendous things that I was just like, no, and the fans were saying it. And one of the worst things that they kept saying and kept repeating was, oh, we're going to lower the complexity threshold of this game. And they kept saying this word, and the complexity threshold, I'm like, oh my God, it's that stupid accessibility word again. And it's like, they were just going to dumb it down. And they did. They dumbed it down. And I worked for Battlefield 3 because it was fun. It took it to the next gen. But it did dumb it down, and then they dumbed it down even more with Battlefield 4. And then they did it with 2042. They got rid of the classes and all sorts, and they started this specialist shit. And it was just crap. So now they're bringing it back to the 64 to 64 player stuff. And now they've said it. They're going to bring it back to its core. Swirling in his mind, and Vince Zampella in this interview talks about, I think he mentions 1942 and how much fun that was. I think it was that. And he's talking about condensing it more. And now you've just got DICE focusing on the multiplayer. Because people kept crying, it needs single player. Bullshit, shut up. Battlefield 2 didn't even have it. Battlefield 1 didn't even have single player. It doesn't need it. But if you want it, there's a team making it. And the only teaser we've got, we're just playing right now, is off that. It looks stunning. It looks really good with the destruction and demolition, or levolution, whatever you call it now, which I've signed up for the...
Evolution, yeah.
Well, that was crazy with the... that was one of the coolest things with Battlefield 4, with the whole freaking building, like Shanghai, the whole high-rise, and being in there, fighting loads of people, and then starts caving down. Don't even see that. It's crazy CPUs that these...
great clips on my OneDrive from playing on that level.
So cool, isn't it? It's just like, this feels next gen. This is what it's supposed to be. I mean, never hardly
like, those kind of moments, those Battlefield moments, they call them.
Yeah.
That's what for me takes it above Call of Duty.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Call of Duty feels like something. I put Call of Duty in the same bucket as Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Where you just mindlessly kind of play it.
Yeah.
But like stuff happens in Battlefield when it was at its height, where you stop playing and it's like, oh my God, like there's a flaming blimp crashing down in front of me. And it's not scripted either. It's like there are still people standing on top of that blimp fighting, while this is going on. It's not part of the background. It's not fake. I mean, it's the dynamic part of the battle that this is blowing up in your face. Like there was just nothing like it. Yeah. I remember like in Battlefield 3, like back when they had like more granular environmental destruction. Yeah. Like you see like a group of people running past, like, I can't remember what map it was. It was Paris, I think. Or maybe this was Battlefield 4, I'm thinking, but I remember one, like this moment I had playing, it was either 3 or 4, like shooting a rocket launcher into one of the buildings, and then just like
the sign,
the facade of the building fell down and crushed a squad to death.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you just can't do shit like that in Call of Duty, man.
No, Call of Duty, it's very simplistic. For me, Battlefield over Call of Duty all day, even though I love Modern Warfare 2. The dynamism, bro, the weapon sounds, the destruction, always felt like this is a grown-up shooter. Call of Duty is the popular one. It was different. It was, by the way, Jez,
I want it to get back to that level, man.
It will get back to that level. I promise you. Don't worry.
I hope so.
I have faith.
It's EA though, man.
Fuck EA. It's about Vince Zampella.
I can't believe
Zampella will do it. By the way, I found my old YouTube channel that had a montage. I just remembered. I'm such a Pakistani terrorist. My old clan was called...
You'll be on the list if you say that.
Well, I'll be on the list now. Look at, if you can see the screen right now, as my old channel, my clan was called Team Jihad. Battlefield Bad Company 2 moments. And all my mates were like Indian white. I'm the only Muslim in there. We just called Team Jihad. What the hell is this? Oh man, I just loved playing Battlefield Bad Company 2. But Team Jihad, what is wrong with you, old younger guys?
We had the slut clan, I think, for a while, until
it
was like censored or blocked or something like that.
Oh man.
But yeah, man. Good times, man, in those games. Like Titanfall as well. Like, I think increasingly it's like these companies try and cannibalize each other's each other's audiences. Like it's like, oh, we want to have Fortnite's audience, so we're gonna make this a battle royale or whatever. And it's like, no, because if you do that, you're not gonna get that audience because it won't be as good, and you'll lose your own audience too. Just cater to what you've got and make it better, and try and earn the audience instead of trying to like copy. Like a lot of companies see what Fortnite did with co-opting PUBG and think, oh, we could do that. And like sometimes it works, like with the Apex Legends or whatever. But most of the time it just doesn't work. You know, like Ubisoft's Hypercharge or whatever it's called. And
Hypercharge, I never got on with that.
There's nothing like Battlefield. So just double down on Battlefield. Give me Battlefield. I don't want Fortnite Field.
Yeah.
I just want Battlefield. And because I know at the end of the day, EA is very they're very shareholder driven and shareholder minded about the way they approach development, this is why like I'm sort of declining to be excited about it. Like every time I've let myself get excited about an EA game in the last forever, I've ended up disappointed.
I know exactly.
The only time I wasn't disappointed was with the Dead Space remake, which was almost a 1-to-1 blueprint. You could not fuck that up. You couldn't fuck it up if you tried.
But it's such a good remake though. But
yeah, it's a good remake, but you couldn't have fucked it up if they tried. And you know, I let myself get excited for Veilguard. I was like, this is gonna be good. I'm gonna be optimistic. And it's just like, I can't finish this. It's just so bad. It's so mid-core, man. And I don't have time for mid. There's so much to play. There's no space for mid.
Yeah, I get it, but you have to believe in freaking Zampella, bro.
I believe, but if it fucks up, I'm coming to blame you.
You can come for it. I'm going to regret it. I'm either going to regret it. I'm going to be happy to. I have faith in this guy, man. He's got to do it, man. Like if anyone can do it, it's him. It's got to be him. It's got to be him. If he can't do it, I don't know, man. I want to believe. You know what? I do believe. There's no way Frank West Zampella is going to allow this to. And you know, it's crunch time. It's crunch time for DICE. They have to make it work. And this is a game that has to succeed. Just like it's crunch time for BioWare. They're all working on Mass Effect. That needs to work. And now we find out that Rocksteady are working on Batman. Finally going back to their strengths, because they're like, if we don't make another good game now after the absolute shit show that was Suicide Squad, we are going to be shut down. And Rocksteady will get shut down if their next game does not bang. So they're going back to their basics. So we're seeing all the top players, like all these top studios that were really talented, try and take these risks in an arena right now where the industry is just risk intolerant because of spiraling budgets and whatnot. And they're going back to their strengths. So Dragon Age Veilguard may be ass, but I'm holding out hope that Mass Effect will be good, because I really want that. We need that to be good. I do not dare touch Andromeda. Rambling Entertaining, thank you with the $2 super chat. The Wayward Realm is being made by the OG, the Elder Scrolls team. That's why it looks that similar. Thank you for that. Captain Chaz, thank you with the £5 super chat, because COD isn't even COD anymore. It's more Fortnite. It's awful. We need more a boots in the ground military shooter like Battlefield, which is why. Oh, my battery's dying. Which is why I think Sony could bring SOCOM back and it would succeed. But Sony Sony is not even doing that. We just found out that they were pitched Resistance 4 and Insomniac don't want to work on it. What are your thoughts on that? Is the Sony that we love dead? The answer is yes. Jez, I've focused on you so you can actually talk, so I can change my battery. Say some shit.
Sorry, I got messaged by my boss.
Is everything okay?
Are you gonna have to repeat that? Yeah, it's fine.
It's like, what are you doing on a podcast with a guy whose clan was called Team Jihad?
Nah, he just wants me to fix a title.
Oh, okay. Fine.
Man.
1 second.
Sorry, can you repeat that last bit again?
So I was saying this. So we've got Resistance. Like, I wasn't a massive Resistance guy. I thought, because on Xbox we had good first-person shooters, but it was a beloved series. It did well. It had multiple versions of this games, and it did its own thing, right? And and I tweeted out the PlayStation you loved is dead again. Basically, we found out yesterday that Insomniac were pitched the idea of working on Resistance 4, and they rejected it. They're not working on it anymore, and I think that's really bad. I think that's really PlayStation faithful have been dying for Resistance to come back, dying for SOCOM to come back, dying for Siphon Filter to come back. They're saying that Killzone should come back. And what are their studios working on? Insomniac is basically a Marvel machine now. And I was just like, okay, we're gonna work on next Spider-Man, then Wolverine. Insomniac are madly talented. To sequester them to just being a Marvel machine is a bit of a piss take, no? And it kind of shits on the very thing that PlayStation guys laud their first-party studios for. You're like, they've been carrying PlayStation, but they'll just be working on Wolverine, which I'm sure will be a great game. But I feel like they're losing out, that there's no respect for their own heritage.
I mean, it's hard, man. I mean, I think we're kind of in this sort of generational thing where companies are trying to figure out, okay, Gen Z and Gen Alpha are coming up to the plate, and the generation that sort of carried console gaming through from its, pre-live service era to its post-live service era, millennials or whatever, they're having kids now. Maybe they've got less time to play. They're focused on their careers and stuff like that. So what we're kind of seeing is I think a lot of publishers trying to navigate how to satisfy both cohorts, because both cohorts have a very different mentality and gaming habits, I think. And you can only really, I think a lot of companies are sort of realizing that you can't satisfy both at the same time in some cases, except in super rare instances or whatever. And also then there's your casuals and your hardcore, but you can only really make a game for one audience, generally speaking. There are vanishingly few games that manage to truly cater to every audience without somehow diluting what they are. And you were talking about how Battlefield was we're gonna be more simplistic to reduce. We're gonna be more simplistic to try and reduce the
complexity,
the barrier to entry, stuff like that. Even in Monster Hunter Wilds, I've seen some people, some of the more hardcore Monster Hunter purists decry very basic things that I would consider very basic quality of life things.
Like sprint on Halo,
yeah, stuff like that. And they did in World as well. And I'm not someone who played the classic Monster Hunter games. I came in at World, so it's I was very late to the game. But I remember reading the Reddit for Monster Hunter World, and it was a lot of people complaining that was too easy and simplistic. Meanwhile, I've got people in my DMs saying Monster Hunter Wilds is way too complicated.
Oh, wow.
It's got menus for days. It's got the strangest control scheme of any sort of action RPG you've probably ever played. It's a bit like learning a musical instrument playing Monster Hunter, which I think is part of its charm. But that's the thing, they've retained that identity without dumbing down too much, which is why it's so popular. They cater for their audience. They know who their audience are. They want to cater for it. They don't want it to become a basic sort of hack and slash kind of thing, So I think some companies are trying to navigate between the shareholders begging them to make the next Fortnite, while also trying to satisfy what they've already got, and what they've already got potentially isn't growing fast enough for them, fast enough for shareholders. And we're seeing a lot of studios and publishers trip up over that fact. And they'll continue to trip up over it until they accept that, maybe we can't make the next Fortnite, and maybe shareholders just have to live with that.
Well, in this case, the shareholders, or I say it was PlayStation that turned it down. So Resistance was pitched by Insomniac themselves, and it was PlayStation that turned him down. And part of me does believe it, because I can understand it. Because Resistance, as good as it was, and wasn't a breakout success. It was a game that was beloved by many. But if you're if you're stifling, studio's ambitions, perhaps, and I'm not saying that this might be part of their quality control, which is maybe a good decision that they've made. But Insomniac has carried you, Sony, this entire generation on PlayStation. And if they feel like they could do, Resistance well, you should perhaps entertain it. Maybe the substance of what they offered wasn't that good enough, but I feel like this kind of stuff incrementally, if Concord gets greenlit and this doesn't, it's hard for me to feel sorry for them. If Factions gets cancelled and then Marathon that comes out and it ends up being absolutely utterly ass, there's going to be hell to pay. The whole notion of PlayStation's first party quality thing is in tatters almost. Not because its first single player games are any less good. It's because they've started tackling areas beyond their comfort zone and they're failing. And I know Bungie is a recent acquisition, the same way PlayStation guys will bemoan or try and downplay or disassociate Xbox from Activision because it's an existing IP, blah, blah, blah. But I'll give the benefit of the doubt to Sony. That's Bungie, that's Sony, that's PlayStation. I don't know why people are so... I do get it, but I was at the same time, I was like, well, if Marathon succeeds, I'll give Sony the flowers. If Marathon fails, I will give Sony hell. The same thing applies with Call of Duty. So I don't know, man. This is just like, what semblance of PlayStation is left this gen? If the tail half of this gen is going to be shit, then maybe it'll take some harsh lessons for PlayStation to remember where its spirit is at. I don't know, man. Like, if you're a PlayStation hardcore, how do you feel about this? I know most of my chat will be predominantly Xbox fans, but I'm going to ask, do you care about Resistance?
I don't generally track PlayStation discourse or sentiment or anything like that. I'm just too busy with Xbox and Windows, like my day job, right? So I don't know how PlayStation fans feel about XYZ or like what the slate of games looks like and stuff like that. But I am sort of tangentially aware of their mess ups with Concord and stuff, because obviously that factors PC, right? Helldivers huge on PC, stuff like that. And when you look at like Sony's rush towards live service, it really did remind me of ZeniMax just before it got acquired, with Wolfenstein Youngblood and stuff like that. Almost like a panic where it's like, oh god, we need to have a live service pillar in our portfolio. Like, EA's got its FIFA and its Apex, and Microsoft's got COD and Minecraft, and Epic's got Fortnite, and even Ubisoft, Ubisoft's got like Rainbow Six Siege, which still seems to be ticking over, and whatever other live service games they have. I can't think off the top of my head, it's getting late. But every publisher seems to have their sort of live service pillar, whereas Sony's sort of their live service pillar is other people's games.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like what I said on, about Xbox relying on PlayStation to deliver their games. PlayStation shouldn't necessarily rely on Xbox to always play nice with its service games. It would behoove them to at least have one kind of very potent service pillar. Helldivers is a great example of a really solid service game, but it's not quite on the kind of level that I would expect Sony would want a live service game to be. It kind of reminds me of like a Deep Rock Galactic kind of, or a Sea of Thieves kind of level service game, right? Not quite a Call of Duty or an Apex or a FIFA. But well, even Apex seems to have dropped off now as well. But stuff like Genshin Impact and whatever, So I think like that's why Sony rushed out in this direction, and it hasn't paid off for them yet. But there's no reason to think that Sony won't find the right formula to deliver something like that, whether it's a Resistance or a Killzone. I don't know. I think a lot of there's some nostalgia for some of those franchises, but I think when it comes to building something to capture that Gen Z audience, they kind of want something that they can say, oh, this was made for us. This is our franchise. It's of us. And if you're sort of reaching into the past to pull something forward is kind of like, oh, this is really for boomers and nostalgia and all that kind of stuff. So, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. You know, I haven't really thought that through too much. We just spitball on a podcast, right?
Yeah, no, I do think that
I get why they tried with Concord, and I get why they tried with, you know, Last of Us Factions. You know, sounds cool to me. You know, like I didn't even know what it was, but I went and looked at what Last of Us Factions 1 was like. I was like, oh, actually, this is a pretty cool concept.
It was a really
and then
fun
Last
game.
of Us Factions 2 is cancelled or whatever, right?
I've done a poll here. Most people don't say they don't care.
Maybe it's Astrobot, is it? Maybe it's Astrobot live service.
Astrobot didn't even sell that much for a Game of the Year contender. 1.5 to 2 mil copies, which is nothing really in the grand scheme of things compared to Sony's bangers. It isn't. It's quite anemic for a Game of the Year contender compared to other Game of the Year winners. Considering all the marketing it got, I'm sure. I mean, Sony will be.
Switch.
They might do. But although it doesn't make sense because of the PlayStation Association. But I mean, still, Sony will be happy. I guess. I feel like, you know, I don't know, but I feel like a lot of people kind of peg it down to nostalgia, but I don't think it's nostalgia. I think Killzone has definitely scope because it's a sci-fi based FPS with the right tones, and then with the weighting of that game, if done right, leaning heavy to its more Killzone 2 trappings as opposed to Shadowfall, it will do really well. I think it could see that well. I can see SOCOM being massively disruptive, and this idea that Call of Duty will be relevant forever is not. I feel like I'm a lone madman, you know, out in the street saying that Killzone COD will never be, you know. And I get so much resistance from people saying that. They're like, oh, are you dumb? Like Fonz in the chat. He says, are you dumb? Call of Duty will never die. Activision has killed so many things. Call of Duty is not going to be relevant forever, man. I think it's dwindling, you know, and, you know, like Captain Chat said in the chat, a lot of streamers are also kind of falling out of favor for him. My friend, who's quite a famous producer or sound engineer called Fumes, the engineer, played Call of Duty all the time, playing Warzone, and he's dropped off it as well. It's like, nah, man, COD's crap now. It's like waiting for, I forgot the name of the map. What's the map?
Birmingham.
Not Birmingham. Fucking Birmingham's a shit. Wolverhampton. I forgot the name of the map. I can't believe it. Anyway, yeah.
TDM West Bromwich.
West Bromwich. Warsaw. Yeah, I forgot the freaking name. It's going to annoy me. Someone's going to say in the chat. That's not Volskaya.
X16.
Anyway, I was just basically saying that I think SOCOM could disrupt it. I think Sony is stupid not to do it. I think Sony not stupid to not look at Killzone and the Helgen stuff and to double down on Horizon. I hope they change their minds. Genuinely, I do. And I'm kind of sad that they haven't done that. But it is what it is. Chat, I'm disappointed that none of you knew the map, and I'll probably figure it before you guys will. Verdansk, thank you so much.
Days Gone live service, man.
Huh?
Days Gone live service.
Days Gone live service.
It's like Grand Theft Auto Online, but with zombies.
Could potentially work. It could potentially work. I think State of Decay 3, people are sleeping on. I hope that's going to be a good game, man.
People are sleeping on State of Decay 3, man.
I feel like they are as well, man.
I think that's got serious potential, man.
That, if it gets that out shared world stuff, next year. Ooh. Yeah. I want to say that because that's... Ooh, man, State of Decay 3, if that happens, ooh, that could be something big if they get the multiplayer, the shared world stuff really on point.
There's so many games that are kind of like zombie shared world games, but they're always jank.
Like Miscreate.
I was trying to play Project Zomboid recently, and it was like, my God, what in the newgrounds is this game? You know, it's really cool, but it's just like, it's like a browser game. You know? What if it was that, but Unreal Engine, but good? You know, you know, DayZ and all these kind of games. You know, DayZ is super popular, but super janky. So what would it be like if we had a really great PvE, maybe even put a bit of PvP in there, man? Like Sea of Thieves, optional PvP. I think it could be so good.
Oh,
Man.
they have to put PvP
So
in
good.
there, bro. They have to put PvP in
Yeah,
State of
maybe.
Decay, bro. They'll
We'll see.
just do it like a Dark Zone, like the Division, but put PvP in there, bro. It would be killer, man.
Imagine if the Division had zombies instead of like angry firemen.
Oh man, the Division.
The Division was so weird. It like had this great setting, but it was just like none of this makes any sense. What? Why are there millions of angry firemen in this game? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Just make them zombies. You know.
Oh, so
Why are you resisting this? Division should be a zombie game. Just do it. You know.
It should be.
I don't know. We got long enough, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I think we have.
On
We've
this
got oh, Jez, man. Oh, it was a good chat, man. It's just so nice to have like just a super chill, just banter
Yeah,
about.
it's fun, man.
Yeah,
Just bantering
it's
around.
good, man. It's good, man. Sorry, I know I've kept you beyond. Well, actually, we're just 2 hours,
it's
24 minutes. It's not too bad. Not too bad. I think we've covered most of the comments. I was going to talk about Kingdom Come Deliverance too, but I don't give a shit about that game, chat. So I don't know what to say about that. Metal Gear Solid 5's got a release date as 28th of August. Jez says he thinks it might get delayed. And that's it. Yeah, Jez, thank you so much. Chat, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a great show. Smash the like button if you did. Let me just quickly make sure I didn't miss any super chats. And Fonzarelli Gaming is alive because he almost killed himself in the snow. He's driving to Idaho or some shit.
Idaho.
Meet his relatives and drink moonshine. Jez, tell the people what's in store. You're doing a solo show and shit. You're famous now. Everyone knows who you are.
Yeah, I think I'm doing a solo show on Monday. We'll see what happens. Rand couldn't make it this week. I've got a ton of work to do next week, but I will aim to get a solo show up on Monday. If not, we'll be back on Friday. And you can find all my socials at jezcorden.com. I bought a domain.
Yeah. Oh, you bought a domain, jezcorden.com. Nice.
Yeah, for Blue Sky.
Oh, shit. Nice.
That's how you get verified on there. You have to have your own domain.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. That's wicked. Okay, that's good, man. Absolutely, guys. Check that out. For me, check out the freaking last video. You have to watch it, man. Hardly got any views. It was, I know it's great short, which YouTube doesn't like, but a lot of work went into it, pretending to be Donald Trump. And it's not political, I promise. Yeah, check out Nightwave Radio on Spotify. I've updated it. I'll push out on socials. And yeah, I've got another video coming out this week. Every week, it's gonna be tremendous. I can't do the Trump accent like Safe does. But yeah, smash the like button. It'll be on. I'll put the timestamps up soon, and I'll see you very shortly. Take care. Love you all. Peace.